Let's set this down.
They went to sea in a sieve.
Are we live?
In a sieve they went to...
No. Well,
Oh.
we might be, because it
Well.
might want to catch. No, we're not live yet.
I always do this. I click the go live. Oh, it is. I know. Oh, yeah, so it should be on live, but why isn't it? Oh, it says I am.
Yeah, we are now.
We are. Hello. If anybody is here, it is early morning for America. There we go. We'll have this on now.
They went to sea in a sieve, they did. In a sieve they went to sea. In spite of all their friends could say, on a winter's morn on a stormy day, in a sieve they went to sea. And when the sieve turned round and round, and everyone cried, "You'll all be drowned!"
Morning, Evil!
They called aloud, "Our sieve ain't big.
Good morning.
We don't care a button, we don't care a fig. In a sieve we'll go to sea. Far and few, are the lands where the jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. Sailed away in a sieve they did. In a sieve they sailed so fast, with only a beautiful pea-green veil tied with a ribbon by way of a sail to a small tobacco pipe mast. And everyone said who saw them go, "Oh, won't they soon be upset, you know, for the sky is dark and the voyage is long, and happen what may, it's extremely wrong in a sieve to sail so fast." Far and few, are the lands where the jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. The water it soon came in, it did. The water it soon came in. So to keep them warm, they wrapped their feet in pinky paper, all folded neat, and they fastened it down with a pin. And they passed the night in a crockery jar, and each of them said, "How wise we are! Though the sky be dark and the voyage be long, yet we never can think we were rash or wrong, while round in our sieve we spin." Far and few, are the lands where the jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and went to sea in a sieve. And all night long they sailed away, and when the sun went down, they whistled and warbled a moony song to the echoing sound of a coppery gong, from the shade of the mountain's brow.
A nice big bong.
Timbaloo, how happy we are when we live in a sieve and a crockery jar, and all night long in the moonlight pale, we sail away with a pea-green sail in the shade of the mountain's brow. Far and few, are the lands where the jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed to the western sea, they did, to a land all covered with trees, and they bought an owl and a useful cart, and a pound of rice and a cranberry tart, and a hive of silvery bees. And they bought a pig and some green jackdaws, and a lovely monkey with lollipop paws, and 40 bottles of rainbow ree, no end of Stilton cheese. Far and few, are the lands where the jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And in 20 years they all came back, in 20 years or more, and everyone said how tall they've grown, for they've been to the lakes in the Torrible Zone, and the hills of the Chankly Bore, and they drank their health and gave them a feast of dumplings made of beautiful yeast. And everyone said if we only lived, we too could go to sea in a sieve to the hills of the Chankly Bore. Far and few, are the lands where the jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve.
Yep. A load of old seamen. And that's that. And then we've got this one. Do you like my hat, Evil? I'm the captain. I'm the captain of this here cruise. So this is a video. Lemur, do you want to tell the story of the video? And
so as everyone knows, the Titan sub was a massive fail, and everyone died. So we're going to watch a video about why the passengers were allowed on it, and basically how the dude was a bit of a fucking deluded narcissist rich bloke who he wouldn't listen to anybody when they told him that it was really bad idea what he made it of. He just wouldn't listen to anyone. So just gonna have a look at this one.
So Knox at sea, that's what we're having today. So I don't know any of the players in this really, apart from that kid that got forced on.
Do you want to put subtitles on it?
Oh yeah. My questions with this was my questions with this is like how people got duped into doing something so dangerous.
Right. Well,
is that what it was?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, yeah, he'd been down. He had an interest in the Titanic anyway, and he'd been down a bunch of times before. But he wouldn't listen to anybody's advice on the fact that what he was making it of was really unsuitable.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't take anyone's advice. And the thing is, because there were in that part of the ocean, there's no there's no laws against doing it in that part of the ocean. Whereas if we'd done it in a different place, like he wouldn't have been able to do it. He wouldn't have been allowed to. But in that part of the sea, there's not the same laws. Like you can, so no one could really stop him. But
it's just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
I think he was convinced though that he was right. You know, I think he really was convinced. But that's where the narcissism comes in.
Is it that guy?
Yeah, you need to turn it up a bit.
Oh, can you not hear it? Okay. He looks like a narcissist, doesn't he?
I don't know if anyone looks like one, but yeah.
Oh, they've done research into it. Well, some of them there was
really?
a guy I watched. Yeah, it's about the eyebrows. It's about the eyebrows.
What if he changes his eyebrows?
It's still valid. it might mean that he's not as narcissist. I don't know, but it's something to do with the eyebrows.
Followed round the world. A rescue mission.
All right, Lou.
In St. John's,
morning, afternoon.
A city, no stranger to tragedies at sea.
If I just got the bad feeling right away.
Old Dak Steve.
This is not how you do things.
We're on the trail to find out how an experimental submersible was ever allowed to take passengers to one of the most remote and unforgiving places in the ocean.
But you believe that he was regularly misrepresenting the safety of the Titan?
Oh, sure he was. So you can see bottom, shouldn't be too far off. Should have almost back it up. Yeah, you can see bottom, back it up.
Yeah, so that dude was the one was on his website, and he put a load of companies and things on it on the website, saying that they were linked to it.
People have traveled to space or
Like NASA.
Everest that have visited the wreck of the Titanic.
Shout out there.
It was 2017, and Stockton Rush introduced himself to a Canadian audience with an audacious pitch.
Thanks so much for being here.
Pleasure to be here.
He was selling seats on his submarine for a trip to the Titanic. 105,000 US ahead.
We sold out the first 54 positions for May of 2018.
It's pretty cheap, isn't it, really?
2 weeks of 2019.
I mean, it's pretty cheap for rich people.
Expedition.
But like in that field,
He shouldn't have been monetizing it anyway.
well,
in the
I mean,
last
you
35
can't. I mean,
years, there hasn't
where'd you
been
draw the line at that? Do you know what I mean?
Commercial, private sub, although there's been
That's a definite
Going
discussion.
to sea is intrinsically a risky activity, but we're doing everything we can to make sure that it's as safe and
After reading
comfortable as possible.
Well, Stockton Rush, thank you so much for being
The Mirror of
here,
the
and I
Sea,
guess
I'm not
we'll see
bothered
you
about
in
going
St.
out
John's
to deep
next
sea
year.
or anything like
Looking forward
No.
Not even on a boat, do you know what I mean? It's still, that's fucking crazy.
The Titanic
being
has
out
never
on the
really
boat.
rested in peace.
And his wife is the
That's sad.
great granddaughter of two people that died on the Titanic.
In part due to a captain who
Wow,
ignored
so she's lost 3 people to the
and a
Titanic
century
now.
later, it seems
I don't think that she would have known them.
doomed to
Yeah,
repeat
true.
history.
Look, it's leaking. You can see the bubbles coming out.
Aerospace engineering grad, co-founded Ocean Gate in 2009 in Everett, Washington.
It's almost
God.
impossible to describe what
No
it's like to be
way.
underwater, which is why I wanted to launch Ocean Gate.
You wouldn't even be able to pay me $1 million quid to go down in that thing. I swear to
I
God.
mean, I'd go in shallow water in it.
Smart, but he has intellectual.
Yeah,
Especially
snorkeling.
when it came to engineering.
Snorkeling in the bay. Yeah. Do that. I wouldn't even do that, but I would for $1 million quid.
No, I'd go in like
As far as
Like,
using
because
Titan or
when
any
you can go down to a certain level where there's no
Oh man, no, it's
where there's no it's when you hit the crush level.
Could you imagine how stinky and cramped and
Rushed
crowded
down from a
and
wealthy
Yeah, horrible.
would be in there? I
At
wouldn't want to
19,
go in
he was
there.
a trained pilot, born, it seemed, to explore.
Like those rides you
I
go
wasn't
on
gonna
that
get to Jupiter
smell
or
of
Mars,
Burger
but
King.
I
and
did realize that all the
Kids'
cool stuff
breath.
that I thought was out
Ugh.
there is actually underwater. His wife, Wendy, is the great-great-granddaughter of a retailing giant who, along with his wife,
Oh, they
were
were
two
there.
of the wealthiest
Oh
people
wow, he looks
to
like
perish on the Titanic.
fuck, how he looks
So
like
as far
an
as,
image of
if you dream of using
Alexi
Titan or
Sale.
Titanic,
It does.
that was ever a dream of mine.
Alexi
That was
Sale.
more of a,
I
it was
love
more of a
Alexi
business
Sale so
decision.
much. So good.
Ocean Gate owns
I'll put a
3
bit of him on
submersibles.
later.
We have Antipodes, which can go to 305 meters or 1,000
See
feet.
that? I'd do that.
500
Like,
meters
I'd
or
go down a
Nah.
little bit,
Nah.
but not Titan.
500 meters, no way. If anything went wrong, you'd have to swim up 500
His
meters.
jewel was the Titan.
As long as it's like not.
You may as well
All the
go
other
down to the
deep-sea
bottom as do
submersibles-
500 meters, though. I suppose the crush zone, but
Yeah,
oh,
it's the crush zone. Like fuck going into the crush zone.
I don't know. 500 meters, isn't it? Well, would you go in this, Evo? I know you're not a big fan of the sea, but would you go in? Obviously, not this broken one, but like in a just as, and the shallows, not in the crush zone. The crush zone. That's another one for another name for a stream. It's the crush zone, the death zone.
That had come before it. At their core, a spherical titanium hull to withstand the unforgiving pressures of the deep ocean. Rush chose to build the Titan's larger 5-person hull with a lighter and cheaper material, about 12 centimeters of carbon fiber.
12 centimeters. Give
This
over
2017
me.
Ocean Gate video shows a titanium ring being bonded to the carbon fiber hull of the Titan.
What did they
They
use?
use this
Fucking
diving
prick
carbon fiber
stick.
sub ever built.
Sellotape.
Sellotape for farm shop.
Sellotape.
The shit one, not even the branded sellotape.
It would be the only one out there for
5
good
for a
reason.
pound.
Carbon fiber is used primarily for aircraft, not submersibles.
Good lord, you
Water
idiot.
Exactly.
exerts immense force
What
on
is
the
he
hull.
like?
At 10,000 meters,
What was
for
he
example,
like?
the pressure is nearly 1 ton per square inch. In 2018, Ocean Gate's Director of Marine Operations, David Lockridge, dropped a bombshell, a 10-page report addressed to Rush and 4 other company officials outlining flaws in the design and build of Titan, which he said had been dismissed on several occasions. I must make this report, so there is an official
Oh
record in
dear.
place, he wrote.
He just knew at that point that everyone was doomed.
Among the more than 24 safety issues Lockridge said needed to be
This
addressed.
is the thing though, this is the thing with narcissists. All dissenting voices are shut down. They know before you even get, yeah, too right, yeah, oh god, no, you won't want to. But like, you know, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't get through to them, and you can't give them any information. And it's that whole thing of abandon all sincere communication with those who are insincere. And by that point, it's not that he's kind of being sincere as a person, maybe, but he's got his goal, hasn't he? And that's twisted everything, so it isn't sincere anymore because it's just focused on that one goal, maybe.
Easily
Lemu's
burned,
gone.
and most disturbing,
Hey, Alta
visible
Count, hey,
signs
up.
of delamination and holes
Yeah,
in that
Lemu's
carbon
gone.
fiber hull. She continued
Lemur!
until suitable corrective
Oh,
actions
I
are
wonder
in
if she's
place
back.
and closed
Hang
out.
on a sec. Let's see if she's back in the thing. Because this is full screen. Oh no, skip to the end there. I don't even know where I was, guys. I don't even know where I was. How was it there? Okay, whatever. Alright, so how do I... What?
At 10,000 meters, for example,
I think I was at the right place there. Right. No, she's not connected. I'll keep it playing.
pressure is nearly 1 ton per
Oh,
square
we need to add
inch.
you in the StreamYard. It just said that device is unconnected, mate. Edit display name. Oh, I can give you a... I can do... Ooh. You can be the bosun. You're the bosun now. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's just that shit, isn't it? Just internet shit.
I didn't miss anything.
I think
I shut stream.
Oh, it happens. I do it all the time. That shit.
Officials
Hey, up there.
finding flaws in the design and build.
Sorry, I missed your Ghostbusters stream last night. I was just passing out. I was gutted. I really wanted to watch it.
I was saying hello, Luke's Awakening. I don't know if you heard me because I might have
More
disappeared
than
by then.
2 dozen safety issues Lockridge said needed to be addressed. O-rings designed to connect parts that didn't seal properly.
Exactly, the crunch.
Flooring material
These are the
that
lies.
burned.
The lies.
Most disturbing, visible signs of delamination and holes in that carbon fiber hull.
When you're in when they use it on aeroplanes, because air expands, then so it's fine to use it on aeroplanes, but you can't use it in a submarine because the air compresses and becomes smaller and smaller.
It's ridiculous.
And so it can't cope with it. So you need something that doesn't have that isn't like it's basically got, it's not completely solid. It's got like small holes in it.
This is where the delusion comes in, doesn't it? Because it's like if you
and he should know this. He's a fucking engineer. Like
you're running like something that's experimental. It's a new thing. You're going to be starting off and spearheading a whole sector of exotic exploration.
Like this kind of thing can handle shallow depths without a problem, but going into really deep depths with it is not okay because
it's not that long, is it? It's like not that long.
It would be perfectly fine to do it at shallow depths.
Yeah.
It's fine for that, but not certainly.
That's what I think about the delusion. It's like
crush depth. I mean, like. Anyway, just play it because I'm just going to rant.
Yeah. Well, this is what it's about. But the thing is about, I like to compare it to the narcissist that we know and things like that. But like the delusion is that.
The difference is that when the narcissist has got that much money, it becomes fucking dangerous.
It becomes really dangerous, and it really is like what possessed him with that. He must have just got that idea, and then
I think this level of. I think he was genuinely passionate about it, but it's when passion becomes delusion.
And like he says, if they were trying to prove a point and saying they didn't want to be hemmed in by old.
He was convinced that he was breaking new grounds and stuff.
He wanted to be
but he
that
wouldn't listen to any of the engineers, which is fucking arrogant.
If you actually want to achieve the goal, it's like with Mount Everest. It's not about getting to the top; it's about getting to the top and then back down again, so you can tell your tale. Like that's the success. So, like, how's he going to do
and not killing people?
And not killing people, and not stepping over someone. That would be an ideal situation. But it's a bit like, it's not hard. Yeah, it would have cost a little bit more, but it's not hard just to look at maybe even the cheapest material that is used for something similar to that.
The thing is, what's his name? Cameron did it. They'll show you later. They use like this giant ball and it's like steel and they seal it together and stuff. And it can.
That's what I'm saying. Like when Cameron did it and all them did it.
Yeah, that's designed to cope with it.
It wasn't that long ago, really, as well. So there wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, I know a lot of research and stuff gets done as soon as obviously that barrier is broken, then everything like moves on exponentially and stuff like that. I get that, but at the same time. I remember watching bloody David Attenborough when they first got the anglerfish. You know what I mean? That wasn't that long ago when they got that deep, and that's all new shit. So, like, why the hell would you take that extra
There's
risk?
nothing wrong with using a Logitech control for steering. That's not the issue here.
Well, that might have something to do with it, to be fair.
That's got nothing to do with it. That's not an issue. It wasn't. I think it was a PlayStation controller or something.
Oh,
like
for
that.
God's sake, really? No.
I don't know, but like that's not even the issue. That
Well,
really
like, why didn't they just send it down as a remote drone thing then?
Because that's the thing. He wanted to take people down and cash in on it. Like, but you're already rich. Why do you need to do that?
Yeah, but you could still charge people for driving it around. They'd still pay. People are idiots.
Yeah, like put a camera in it and then
Yeah,
send it
and
down.
like carve your name in the
The same thing would have happened. It would have still fucking imploded.
Well, yeah, but there wouldn't have been anyone in it.
Yeah.
And all they'd have been doing is saying, "Oh, I never got to put my name on Titanic," you know, give me $100 grand back. But people would pay $100 just for that. They just want the
just to.
They're bored, aren't they?
You don't actually have to go in person.
You don't have to. Yeah, I would charge them extra. Have that.
It's like,
you know what I mean? Charge
Get
those
on
guys
it.
$500 each for a proper sub, and then you get the side hustle of the guys carving the name on the side of Titanic.
Yeah.
$100 a pop. $100 a pop. Like,
So listen to this guy anyway, because he's the one.
If this goes bad, it's not just bad for the company and the people involved, but the whole industry.
he looks like a seafarer, that guy.
Yeah, he does. He looks like fucking
Weather
Captain
worn.
Birdseye.
Fiber design.
What? There's no fish fingers tonight for tea.
Carbon fiber, for example, composite materials. You have lots of different techniques of putting it together. The engineer of calculating what each layer is doing is almost impossible to do. That's why I told Stockman on the phone. It says, Stockman, doing one dive to 4,000 meters is not a test program.
Yeah.
So in 2018,
Exactly. Just to go in again. Exactly. There's the word salad. There's the word salad right there. That's the physical encapsulation of that. It's like, I want to be seen to be doing it, but I'm not actually going to do it. I want you to see it and think that I'm doing it, and it almost lying to himself about it. You know what I mean? Where it's obvious to everyone that that's not the case, but for some reason, his voice is the loudest and gets pushed in.
And so many people told him. So many people told him no, and he just wouldn't fucking listen.
Oh well, I know a few of them.
Conan drafted a letter to Stockton Rush. He wrote that industry members have expressed unanimous concern regarding the development of Titan and the planned Titanic expedition, and the possible negative outcomes from minor to catastrophic.
And this is it. This is it, right, Evil? Like, with something like that, you know it's a risk. So even if you go back,
there's always going to be a risk. There's always going to be a fucking risk. But...
Yeah, but why would you? Like, your first ever one with people, like you would.
Well, it wasn't the first ever one with people.
Wasn't it? They did one with people.
No, it'd been down in the same one before.
And he took customers down before.
It wasn't the first one. Just keep watching it.
Oh right, I didn't know that. I thought that was the first one.
No.
Were catastrophic. There was a fear of the potential for a catastrophic outcome. Well, what did you mean by that? Sure, they could kill somebody, for sure. I mean, it's dangerous. This is hard, right?
The letter was circulated to dozens of experts, but the Marine Technology Society Board was opposed to it being sent out. It was eventually leaked to Rush, who then called Conan.
Well, he was ticked off. I mean, he was not happy, you know. But in a way, I was happy that he was calling because I wasn't allowed to send it. And so
he answered the phone.
He came back and he says, "Well, what's this?" I was like, "Well, you read it. You can see what it is."
Ha!
And
classic.
Really
who does that remind you of? Who does that remind you of then, eh? What's this? What's this? It's all there, mate. You can just fucking read it. It's there for about half an hour. What you're talking about? Doshin, what's this mean? What does this mean? Well, mate, you've just been reading it for fucking half an hour. I've listened to you laugh and respond without verbally responding to it. So now you're just going to pretend. It's fucking ridiculous.
We're ahead of innovation and the rules are just holding us back. And it's like, look, Stockton, I have as much desire as you to be able to innovate and come up with new ideas that maybe they're not.
They can't hear it though, can they?
But there's a way about going it. I think it's
no.
critical
He's deluded.
the general public is
Passion becomes solution.
so
Vic,
in
in
that
it, man, in it.
machine
I wouldn't buy that controller.
that you have to be held to a higher standard.
Not with having a kid.
Ottawa
And I
born
bet it was the
Patrick
same.
Wright.
They had several controllers on board. It's not about the bloody
I
controller.
know, but I'm just saying you wouldn't though. Because like
Stop going on about the controller. It's the
even
least.
a parent though, even a parent with a rambunctious child
It's
thinks,
least
nah,
of the
man,
worries.
get
They
the-
had
get the
several
brand- get the
controllers
proper
on board.
ones.
That's the least of their fucking
Get the
concerns.
proper ones, man.
11,000 meters, almost 3 times the depth of the
You can get them
Titanic.
second hand, cheap. It's fine. It lasts longer than the Logitech one.
1,000 meters. The pressure on that hull, the pressure boundary that that the people are inside of, is equivalent to 292 fully fueled jumbo jets
Jesus
sitting on top of it.
Christ.
And the Titan, he said, was not designed for safety. He saw it firsthand while on vacation in the Bahamas, where it was being tested by OceanGate.
I walked around it and I expressed alarm and concern about many of the things that I did see. So I made a list of a few things that I thought they should,
That's
they
me,
should look
that.
at. And
Making a
That was
list.
me at the beginning of last
continue
year,
In
that.
fact,
Yeah.
honestly,
Making a list.
I
Making a list of doing, hey guys,
I,
can't we do it like
left.
this?
I sort of felt
dear.
like that thing was probably so far from being ready to dive that it probably never would.
It would indeed die.
Like, you know what I
First
mean? Mess
rush
around
fire
in
takes
shallow
rocket.
waters, but
More
fucking
Yeah.
U.S.
not.
labor investigators about the design
Word
flaws
salad.
in this interview obtained by the Fifth Estate.
Sections and were next. You can see them at like Swiss cheese. So when you put a torch in the
Swiss
barcode,
cheese,
you can
shout
feel the way
out.
through it. You can feel the delamination.
Shout out to Swiss cheese.
Oh yeah,
OceanGate
Shout out to
sued
Cyrus.
Lockridge countersued.
legend.
The cases
See,
were
yeah,
settled out of court,
they tried to,
and the labor
and he fired someone for fucking standing up to it as well.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I bet he did. Oh, and you can imagine how he treated his staff. Well, it's the same as Rabbit Dude. That's what happened.
Well, he
with
got
Rabbit
young
Dude. It's the
people
same
where
thing.
he got young people on board that weren't
There you go.
yeah, that
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
any better.
Fucking hell. It's the parallels are just the same. They just get the young.
Like OceanGate
Incredible.
were doing some really good work. Besides that, they were doing some really good work in shallow waters that was perfectly good. But he just thought he was obsessed with doing this. It's like they were
Yeah.
actually doing some really good work, researching
Yeah.
much shallow waters and educating school kids and stuff.
It's never good enough for him, though, is it? This is, there was one of these TikTok videos I was watching. Well, these videos on TikTokers and fake videos that people have got found out for and stuff. And there was this one with this woman, and she was like, "My husband came second in this thing," and when they looked it up, he actually came 32nd. But he came 32nd out of 500 people, and he did really well. But that wasn't good enough for her. She had to lie and say it was like that he came second and all this shit. It's just, it's kind of the same shit. Isn't it?
plate dropped. Rush says he then built a new hull.
Out here, this is really focused on one thing, and that's the pressure vessel, and making sure that component, which is clearly the most critical component of the sub, is safe and capable of handling depths down to 4,000 meters repeatedly with people on board.
But was the new hull different in any way from the first one? We contacted OceanGate and the companies that built the hull. They declined to comment. What is clear is the Titan had survived the maelstrom of its critics. Rush was ready to dive, and now he was charging $250,000 for a ticket to the Titanic. When we come back, we dive down to experience what goes into building and operating a sub for ocean exploration.
Oh, I can say it now. Gates, not Mitchell.
This quiet marina in Southern California is a gateway for people seeking a unique travel experience.
Ooh, calling boots.
The global adventure
I love a
tourism
marina.
industry is exploding, and this yellow submarine
One in Barcelona full of fucking really posh yachts.
Oh man, I'll get some pictures.
We're here in
There
Redondo
was a little
Beach,
video.
California.
There was a
To
little
meet a couple
video of that. I
Canadians
love it. I
behind
love a
a
marina.
I love that.
Now built 60
Where you going over, yeah?
submersibles. Some are used for search and rescue, some for ocean research, and some are
Yeah,
toys.
this is proper like Batman looking yacht.
Yeah, well, in Swansea there was
We're gonna
occasionally
dive
you'd get
into
one
today
of like
and see
that,
what
and there
the
was
fuss
a
is
What
all
was it?
In Swansea, yeah, you would also.
Swansea.
Charles
Sometimes you'd get like
five-person
once a season or something, you'd get like a big posh
An
one.
Amico controller.
Price tag $6 million US.
Yeah, he
Jesus.
should have teamed up with Amico.
Would rig the sub with our
same
cameras
shit.
and free dive checks.
Same shit,
Ready
mate.
to board.
The 500
Titanic,
meters.
Joined by my colleague.
Titan Amico.
Yeah, it is.
Titan Amico.
Yeah, so he did the same thing. He because you said about them putting different companies and stuff on that bit.
Yeah, like
exactly the same.
you'll see in a bit, like you'll see in a bit what he did. He just bullshitted a lot. Or elaborated on truths basically, and then some of it was just
bullshit.
Some of it was straight up bullshit.
Some people
A scam mixed with psychosis. My favourite type.
Yeah.
Inside, Charles
I
Conant.
understand his passion, but he put
This would be enough for me. This would be it. I'd be like, get me out of here. Look, it's all dusty.
I don't mind doing that in shallow waters. That's fine.
Titanic, yeah.
That plan includes 4 days of oxygen and 4 days of food and water.
Yeah, fuck that being in that thing for 4 days. Where do you shit?
On a support vessel to be deployed if needed.
Yellow submarine.
Like before people fuck that. I don't want to ever be.
I
don't want to ever be in a close. I like to be at least fucking 3 feet away from anybody.
Rivets, man. Would you go in something that's riveted like that? Like, no way.
For an hour for a couple of hours in shallow water.
However,
yeah, like this, I'd do it. Yeah, maybe I would.
Yeah, like shallow water, a couple of hours. That's all right.
Just like this,
safety
like a
remains
little. I'd rather go on a speedboat though.
priority.
I'd rather go
Got
on
the wind in your
I'd rather
hair.
go on a jet ski.
Or a jet ski. Yeah.
So that the owners realize that there's.
If I had that money, I'd spend it on going on one of them parrot thing when they tie that to the back of the boat.
Paragliding.
I'd do that. Yeah.
I think he wanted to be in the water, not above it.
You end up in the water, though, don't you?
And internationally recognized
eventually.
agencies like the American
Or for
Bureau of
$100 grand,
Shipboard,
you could
ABS.
get someone to teach you how to surf for that money and be a surfer.
I want to learn how to surf.
Marine operations.
I can windsurf, but like I can't surf for shit.
No, because I would want to. I don't want to. That's why. Because I've seen those big fucking waves.
Windsurfing's easy. You just hold on to the fucking sail.
Yeah, I never did windsurfing though because that costs money. That costs a lot more money than surfing.
I've never paid for it.
Surfing's poor man. Poor man
Lloyd's
shit.
Register.
Is it? I've always
Well,
windsurfed.
compared to
Reached out to
windsurfing.
Lloyd's who told us
Oh, it's not like I do it for a fucking hobby.
to provide classification following a preliminary observation of ocean
No
gate
problem.
That's
testing
done to me kayak.
in 2019.
Yeah,
that
kayak.
They never did class the Titan.
The Ocean Gate sub was not certified. It was an experimental craft. And as such, it should have never carried human beings.
And that's the
It was not-
question. That's the main question. How? And this is where it's similar to Tommy Tallarico and all the rest of this stuff. How something that is classified as that gets spun.
Not even, because he stuck
So
a load of
much.
stamps on it. He stuck like NASA on it, and he stuck all this.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
where-
people don't believe that someone's going to put their lives at risk like that. You know,
No, there's that as well. Yeah,
when you
that's
pay
true.
money and you think, oh, it's got to be safe because
Guy
it's got all these stamps on it.
Carry human beings, you should be willing
Too
to
right,
submit
of course.
design
Even when it's raining,
and
though.
analysis.
Would you go in the rain? Would you
To
sit on the
the
deck?
third
You're like the only one on the deck.
At some point, safety is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to take some risk, and it really is a risk reward question. I said,
He looks like
by breaking the rules.
he looks like Tommy Tallarico. He sounds
I
like Tommy
disagree
Tallarico when
that
he's doing his spiel,
This
doesn't he?
idea that somehow certification
Put a red hat on
is
him.
impediment to
Put that
innovation,
fucking Flying
or that
Tigers
it
hat on him
somehow
and that
hinders,
shirt.
progressive thinking. It's
That's all right,
absolutely
yeah.
not true. I just think, that's a cop-out.
And while the Titan wasn't independently safety tested, OceanGate's promotional videos said the sub had been designed with the help of some engineering heavy hitters. We partnered with aerospace experts at the University of Washington, NASA, and Boeing on the design of our hull. The Fifth Estate contacted Russia's so-called partners. The University of Washington was not involved in the
Wow,
design,
here we go,
engineering,
see?
or testing of the Titan.
Boeing was not a partner on the Titan and did not design or build it.
Exactly.
It provided virtual consulting. The agency did not conduct any testing and manufacturing via its workforce or facilities.
So do you believe that he was regularly misrepresenting the safety
No,
of
it's
the Titan?
exactly, this is what we do in
Okay.
Evil Is. It's exactly the same.
The question is,
It imploded just like
did he
Jimmy.
know it? Well, our job was to let him know that, yeah.
When I heard about him
Conan
putting the
is a
fake
critic and competitor
symbols
of
on,
Ocean
I
Gate,
was
so
like,
we wondered
this is
why
so
was he listed
so
as an
perfect.
advisor to the company's research
It's the
foundation.
same.
I did not know I was an advisor.
See, look.
He did
Oh
not
my
know
God, they
that.
even put him as an advisor. And he was the
Yeah,
guy.
he did it.
It's on there. It's on
Oh
their
my
website.
God. And he was the guy who was like trying really
Yeah,
hard.
and he listed him as an advisor.
Fucking hell. That's the sort of thing that Tommy Tallarico would do as well, like trolling Pat and Ian. Fucking hell, man. This is unbelievable.
As an
He's not happy about it. Oh, look at his face. Oh, see
Really?
Thank you. No, I did not know.
Oh,
This waiver makes
Oh.
it clear about
Oh.
Oh.
in parts, the experimental submersible vessel has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and may be constructed of materials that have not been widely used in any human-occupied submersible.
I'm just going to top up my drink, but carry on without me.
Possibility of death is mentioned 8 times in the
well, Red Bull. Well,
Rob
indeed.
McCallum has led deep-sea dives to every ocean on Earth. He
Just
told
like
Rush
Tommy
to feed his
Tallarico, it
critics.
is. This.
Diving in an uncertified carbon fiber hull
I wonder
was
if
like
he's
defying the laws of
if he
physics.
did the whole fake
You know, in
certificates
every
and all that, fake
I've worked with or sailed with, culture is, the
accreditations.
culture of safety is primary. Anybody on the team can raise a safety concern, and it's not dismissed until it's thoroughly investigated, and it is celebrated as a way of
One of your
trying to
countrymen,
avoid,
just as you turn up, Red
an
Bull.
incident. But as you'll see in the correspondence, Stockton always took it as a personal affront, as a personal offence.
There you
Well,
go.
my Michelle.
Response to McCallum, I'm clearly an advocate for a different path. A relevant comparison for Ocean Gate is
I've
Virgin
got some jelly. You would call it jello, I believe.
Oh, you
that
got
will
jello,
use
nice.
uncertified spaceships.
What
for their
flavour?
flights. Rush concluded, we have heard the baseless
Red.
cry. You are going to kill someone.
Nice.
Red flavor.
I take this as a serious personal insult.
I'm not sure it's
Serious
real flavor.
personal insult. Who do we know?
Back in
Who's
California,
like that?
we're ready to dive in Sea Imagine's certified
What's going on
sub.
here, mate, is we are discussing Titan and the similarities between this high level of narcissism and how people end up dead, and the same level of narcissism that's going on with some people who we know. And this, it's like they scale it down and it's still the same shit. People still implode, people still are dying, but not in the physical world. It's all the digital. And also comparing it to Tommy Tallarico, because the guy himself actually looks like him and talks like him, and he's doing exactly the same shit.
Thompson has given us permission to dive. He's going to activate right now the vertical thrusters, as you see, and push us on the bottom.
Is it working?
You see that behind it right there. That's the vertical propeller pushing you on the bottom. Here we go. Here we are.
Wow.
This is left off. The other way.
It doesn't look like it's got an outside, does it, that?
Oh, Jesus.
20 meters, I'm fine with that. I'll go 20, I'll go 100 meters, I'll go 200 meters, but anything beyond that, I can fuck off.
It's the afternoon for us, Red Bull. I don't know what it is for you. Middle of the night or something?
I'm going to try to be professional, but at the same
We
time...
were talking about surfing a bit ago. Do you do any surfing? Since you're
It's surfing the web.
surfing the web, yes. Silver Surfer.
It doesn't
Not in
take
pink colours.
enveloped
Yeah.
in total darkness, 100 meters in the deep.
You can see bottom.
100 meters would be my limit.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go to fucking 200.
Would you?
Yeah, go on. Push the boat out.
The safety
How fast can you
protocols and
swim up, though, if
precautions
anything goes
before
wrong?
you
Like
dive to the
200
ocean.
meters? Would you have time to do that?
Okay, what's the level where you need decompression? I'm not going down there.
It would be
Yeah,
a very
exactly.
different experience.
I'm not going to any level where you need to
It was a
decompress.
clear day on June
What's that?
16, 2023, when the sub was towed out of St. John's Harbor. bound for the site of the Titanic.
I'm staying on boat.
Titan's 14th trip to the ocean floor to see the majestic wreck.
Top of the morning to you.
When we come back, a first-hand account of what it was like to dive in the Titan.
When you get in there, you know, it all comes crashing down. You have that thought of those.
He had phone eye, that guy, big time.
600 from St. John's.
Well, he could as well, because he'd just have people carrying him up the fucking mountain, wouldn't they?
Damn. You need a fucking iron lung.
The 5 passengers were bolted into the sub's carbon fiber hull. Stockton Rush was joined
He'd be
by
one of those guys who flew into like pretty much
Pakistani businessman,
one of the highest camps he can do,
and his 19-year-old son.
Tell everyone he did it and go, look how many people were there.
Submariner.
There was thousands of people there, wasn't he?
And we'd have the whole place to himself.
Former French naval
Feel bad for this kid.
Oh yeah,
because they got to loot. They got.
See, guys.
Right, so this dad.
This
dad, he's obviously excited by this, and like he wanted his son to experience it, right? And I get that. I get it. And it's like his son wasn't really into it. He didn't really want to do it, but he persuaded him to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a parallel.
I mean, yeah, only sad loss for the kids. It's not though, because it's a sad loss for an entire family, and then their friends, and then their families, you know, and their friends. And so when you lose one fucking
has that effect. Do you know what I mean? Even if the kid doesn't die,
yeah, even if it only lost to us as the kid, that's an entire family destroyed.
Yeah, that's their whole family line, isn't it? But I mean, again, it's similar. It can be that bad with the narcissistic abuse, even if they don't kill the kid. Because they will. I mean, they'll stop that kid from breeding. You know, that kid won't.
That guy was told on it though, so like he was lied to. He was completely lied to. Because there's loads of things on the website that is stamped. It's got NASA on it, and that bloke, Captain Birdseye.
Captain Birdseye.
And so he's got all these names on it, so it seems like it's legit.
Oh yeah.
The outside, but on the inside, everyone's saying it's not safe. But from the outside, on the website, if you're just a normal person and you're going, well, I say normal. If you're a normal rich wanker, you know, it could seem legit. It seems legit, and you wouldn't think, you wouldn't take your fucking son on it thinking that it was dangerous, right?
Well,
I mean, there's always a level of danger, of course.
But you still wouldn't. I would, if my kid.
There's a level of danger, but you would think, this guy's not going to be putting us in danger. Like, you wouldn't assume that, right?
Well, yeah, but what I would do then, if I was a rich wanker, is I'd go, right, well, I'll go down, and then when I come back up and everything's all right, I'll check it out for us, and then...
Yeah, but the thing is, it did go down before, and it was fine. And then it came, but every time it's gone down, it's got more damage to it.
Out of respect for your kid, to prove to your kid, you know what I mean? That's why
that's not the point, because if it did go down before and it was fine, but every time it goes down, it receives more damage. So
yeah.
I know that, Evil. I watch a lot of true crime.
I didn't believe that he was going to go out there. And I expressed my grave concerns to him in as plain a manner as you.
Who's he talking to? Who did you express the concerns to?
His friend Patrick Laggy said Narcissist should have recognized the risk of diving in the Titan.
So this is the guy who brought his son on.
He wasn't just smart; he was very smart, and he was highly experienced.
So this is another level of narcissism then, because this is a very high-level guy who knows what he's talking about, who would not have reached out to that guy if he wasn't going to cause trouble for no reason. He knows this guy. He was friends with him. So why ignore it if you're not? That's pure narcissism. That's what that is. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to be in delusion, haven't you? Or at least delusion of some sort, or some sort of madness.
So listen to what he's got to say though.
Whipped up into something.
Avoid a tragedy. Maybe I can help enhance the safety of their operation. I believe he genuinely thought that he could do that.
PH Mark, you got PH. Toronto businessman Colin Taylor met Narcissist when Taylor dove with his son in the Titan in 2022.
So that was a reassurance for you?
It was absolutely reassuring.
Taylor had heard the Titan's many critics, but says Stockton Rush assured him that he and his son were safe.
When you are about to get into that sub and you bolted in,
Jesus.
when you get in there, you know,
So he went with his son.
it all comes crashing down on you. You have that thought about.
Oh, right. So this guy came back.
Yeah.
Dive to the Titanic.
Yeah, he went to the one
Passengers like
previously.
Taylor had any concerns about the Titan's controversial carbon fiber hull, Rush had a solution.
So inside the sub, when we were in it, there was a counter. It was counting the number of cracks that were happening in that sub.
Oh my God.
And you could see them ticking away all the way through the ride up and down. You know,
Cracks in the lamination?
that's right.
You gotta
How
be
do you feel about that?
joking!
Is that not an overriding concern?
It is a concern, but you know it's happening, and you know that it's being monitored, and you know that it's natural, that carbon fiber goes through
Is there audio? Can you not
stresses,
hear
and
it?
happens.
But if carbon fiber goes through fucking stresses, like, you can't keep putting it down again and again.
It's ridiculous.
So you can go put it down once and get away with it, like this with these guys, but you can't fucking do it again after and then expect it to not fucking implode.
I just think you're measuring the fucking cracks.
It's like
That's
if you'd
what's
have to make a
ridiculous.
new one each time in order for it to not fucking implode.
Why would you put yourself through that? Like literally going down with a thing ticking
Because
down.
the guy
before
is
you
telling
die.
you that the guy's manipulative and fucking.
Yeah, massively, massive.
You know?
That's what I mean. Like to be able to. You've got
People
think
want to believe that this guy's telling you the truth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's some cost fallacy as well. But like, you've got a thing, a computery thing, whatever it is, telling you right in front of your face, this thing's cracking again, and the strength of that guy's brainwashing overrides that. And these guys are engineers and shit. This is crazy. Oh, it would be amazing if you did, because I would love to hear his take on all this. My God, at least he survived. At least he didn't get taken down by his daddy.
Let's take a look at Titan.
Well, he did in a way,
Rush
but
took pride in his unconventional
hell.
approach. To him, this was peak innovation.
And it's all run with this game controller. And
My
the touchscreen.
word.
It's Bluetooth, so I can hand it to anybody. And it's meant for a 16-year-old to throw it around, and super durable. We keep a couple
Like,
of
yeah, but someone, yeah, as you already mentioned, this is not happened. Yeah, whose controller died?
In 2 summers, Ocean Gate chartered the
you have it wired.
ferry the
Wire it
submersible from
up,
St.
man.
John's Harbor to the
Oh, they had several controllers in this, but that's not going to fucking save you when the hull is cracked.
Polar Prince.
Check it out. Got a lot of people working on the submarine.
YouTuber Jake Kohler was on a Titanic expedition in 2023.
I'm so excited.
His video shows how the sub was towed 36 hours out to sea and back
36 fucking hours.
from the stern of the ship.
The experts come down from Greenland, and they come by Newfoundland, West St. John's, and head out that way.
That's so dodgy, isn't it? So
Larry
dodgy.
Daly is a veteran logistics coordinator.
So
in
why
St.
don't you come off
John's.
from a different
Ocean's-
part?
Expeditions
Ocean's
died
so
with
fucking
Titanic.
huge. 36 hours on the ocean. Fucking
Of
hell.
course it was.
He
The
was
thing
out
was,
on the harbor in the spring
the
of
thing was
2023
telling him that in
and
their
was
face.
stunned
That's
by what
crazy.
he saw.
Look at that though. It looks
He's when
fucking pretty out there.
you've been
The
brainwashed.
towing the platform
It
in
looks
with the
cold there though.
It's nice, doesn't it? It's nice.
It does, but I don't like the cold. Fuck that. Cold. I don't like cold.
I said, I won't repeat it, but what the hell?
I like the cold.
Is that how they're going to
I'm
get
not
No,
that bad. Cold.
not when it's really cold and your bones feel like they're gonna.
I don't like it when it's cold in your house.
This is what they're doing.
When it's cold and you feel like your bones are aching.
Oh, I hate
Data
that.
from the website Marine Traffic.
But I don't like
In
cold
spring
weather and cold
2023,
climate.
The Titan was towed twice to the Titanic and back. On
But I
Kohler's
also
trip,
love the
Titan
heat
was
as well.
Rabbit can lick my wrench.
failed. You got to find out.
Rabbit is welcome to a wrench, of course. There's wrenches all around here.
It's up there with life support.
All right, we're inside and sealed in the submarine.
Until it isn't.
Days later, the crew tried a test dive.
Yeah, we're doing
All got wrenches.
They made it about 10 meters before resurfacing.
That means they're probably going to bring us up.
Yeah, because we've had no comms for
a while.
Shut up, Red Bull.
Critical issues.
That guy would have gone down without the comms, I
Before
bet.
its
He would have just
ill-fated
kept
dive.
going down.
But rather than question the safety of the Titan, St. John's was busy climbing on board. In May 2023, the of Newfoundland and Labrador posted her tour of the Polar Prince with Rush on social media.
Joe Singleton is the interim head of ocean technology at the Institute, and he joins us this morning.
One of Canada's leading ocean research schools, the Marine Institute in St. John's, partnered with OceanGate to have students join the expeditions.
So what's going to be happening on the dives that your students will be a part of?
Using students again.
14.
Exactly.
This is like the Bavarian government, and also like those kids that they used on the video games live, innit? Just to make, and he did that whole thing about helping them and being this big.
Like I said, though, they did some good work, and they did some good work about the. Like you said, they've done some good work with the ocean biology and that sort of thing, which is fine. But
I
then,
don't know what their exploration
but then he's gone into this tourism
They
shit.
can call themselves explorers.
I thought that Red Bull. I thought it was. I thought that someone had gone past. So they were saying it's a syringe-sized hole, and I was like, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Syringe-sized hole.
Exactly.
No
Exactly.
one was doing their due diligence about OceanGate's expedition.
We pride ourselves at the
But I think it was
university
fucked.
in the marine.
Why are you going down to visit a grave site that's already been visited 200 times?
International standards for education, training, and research. Did somebody
Because
ask
it's
questions?
a goal in it, like top of Mount Everest. It's a thing.
Exactly.
Well, I'm asking
Big
questions
dude.
after the fact, right? I wasn't even asking them before.
Watch the fucking movie.
Rush as well. He's called Rush. The guy is called Rush. So that's
I used to have a teacher called Mr. Quick.
Mr. Quiff.
When it comes to maritime
Oh,
safety, you can't be more convenient than the St. John's Harbor. All the agencies responsible for maritime safety are here. The Canadian Coast Guard,
Drink went down the wrong hole.
and all of those agencies would
Oh,
have
the jelly.
been towed out to sea
I
and
just
back
had it.
Cherry
time
pie
and
jello.
time again. So was anyone in those agencies
That's it. That's why he cut all the
prepared to
corners.
step in, stop the expedition, and save lives? Well, we asked all those agencies for an interview.
Reporting from the north in snow.
Actually filming like any.
So none of it was. There's no point to any of that.
The Titan was taxied in and out of St. John's Harbor for 3 years, no questions asked. But after only a couple of hours of filming in the harbor, the Port Authority called Larry Daly to question what we were doing.
Interesting.
What's going off here then, Larry?
So there we go, Red Bull. It gets thicker. The plot thickens.
They're not slick, are they? Pick this up with the camera.
Wow. And when he rang them, they just went,
Yeah, they want to.
they ain't my guy, buddy. They ain't my buddy.
See what you're doing. What you doing down here? What you doing?
Go in the harbor. So they control all this area here, right? So that's the first time that's ever happened.
Rather than call the Port Authority, I showed up at their office with my colleague from Enquête. If they were watching us, were they watching the Titan?
We have questions for the Port Authority about what you have seen. Questions about any concerns that you may have had about the Titan, about the safety of the Titan,
About the Titan.
all that.
Yeah.
And clearly, if you're watching us, you must be watching the Titan.
We were, in a sense, however, it didn't happen on our property. It happened on private property.
Not my buddy, guy.
It's the fucking ocean.
At that point, it
We
was
got it on camera.
But it's not on their property when they
While
were
the Port
there.
Authority watched the
Yeah, I
Titan, there's no indication
Either.
they questioned Rush.
More
The
word
vessel
salad
was
from the
uncertified,
Narcs.
which
It
meant
ain't
there was
my
no
guy,
certification standard
buddy.
to hold it to. It was like a ghost ship with paying passengers on board. And as the YouTuber's video shows, pilot boats were even guiding the Polar Prince out to sea with the Titan in tow. There were no secrets in St. John's Harbor. Back on the North Atlantic, on June 18th, there was a problem. An
But
hour
then
and
who's,
45
who
minutes
are they accountable to? Like the Port Authority? Like how can they stop someone
John Risley is co-owner.
when they're billionaires? You know.
This is his first TV interview about the ill-fated expedition.
When did you learn that in this particular instance something had gone terribly wrong?
on the
And when it imploded.
when
Who's this guy again? I'm sorry, because he looks guilty. This guy. I could be wrong.
Honestly, you're judging people by how they look. Stop
Yeah,
it.
I'm just saying he looks guilty.
Fucking I'm guilty of sin about lots of things, but I don't look it.
He looks like he's going to get found out for something. He's being careful.
We'd lost comms.
He looks like Neil Armstrong when he was doing that interview about.
Stop judging people by how they look.
In fact, I will put that one. That's another one we'll have on at some point. That's a great one. That
situations, because it wasn't the first time, and the protocol was that you wait a certain amount of time, and after a certain amount of time, if you haven't been able to reestablish communication, then you notify the Coast Guard.
You said, was it the first time?
It was not the first time that we'd lost comms with the vessel.
Do you know in the previous instances how long periods would have gone with where you?
I can't tell you. I just don't know.
Oh, there you go. See, I don't know. I don't know.
Who was on board the vessel and was unconcerned about the fact that they
chucking a family member in there.
I imagine that you want communication from time to time.
You can tell he's guilty though, and it might not be that he is actually guilty.
No, what he's saying is that it's normal for communication to be lost from time to time when there's a thing going down. So the wife was concerned.
You can tell. I just think he probably feels some guilt for the deaths. Do you know what I mean?
I imagine you fucking would. Like you were there.
Like showing this sort of. Like he looks like he's guilty. He might not, you know what I mean? Like,
he's not guilty of fucking creating it.
You can tell
Stop blaming Jumper Grandad.
I'm not blaming him. I'm actually saying he's a good man in a certain way because he's taking responsibility for him. Or maybe he's a martyr type person. Or who knows? But I think he's definitely feeling a lot of guilt.
What are you on about dick pics?
Oh, you don't know, do you? Oh no, because I haven't been in touch. Oh, you don't know about any of that, do you? I think
my God.
Some of it. Wait until you come on the front.
Update me later. Let's get on with this.
I will update you. My God.
And then within a reasonable window.
I've got a video that's coming out soon that will show you everything.
But this time, communications were lost, and the Polar Prince did not have an ROV or sub on board to search for the Titan.
What was the backup plan? What happens if things went terribly wrong? What could you do?
Call the Coast Guard. I mean, that's when you're in trouble at sea, there isn't really a backup plan. You call for help.
You call the Ghostbusters.
So guilty, this guy.
Began.
Well, I mean, he was involved in it.
He feels it. Look at him.
Some sort of search and rescue equipment.
The way he's looking at him's like, don't you dare come up with something that I can't.
Decision for, in this case, our customer.
Every single thing he's saying
More than 7 hours after losing contact with the sub.
He's Neil Armstrong, this guy. Jumper Grandad is Neil Armstrong.
Jumper Grandad.
When we come back.
I got a call Sunday afternoon, it was June 18th, that there was an overdue submersible.
Look at that Tash.
This guy, he's a baby. He's a baby.
Look at that Tash. Look at that fucking Tash.
He's a baby.
Ocean Gate's contingency plan was calling the Coast Guard.
That's a neat.
What's it? Having a Rico day.
That's a neat Tash. Look at that. It's a neatly groomed Tash.
His head technician on his.
That is a neatly groomed Tash.
Zero.
That's all the hair he's got. He's looking after that.
Yeah. He's like, I'll just put this bit on a pedestal on display. This bit only. The best bit.
There was a glimmer of hope this morning in the search for Titan as Canadian aircraft picked up banging underwater.
I might make that for I'm having that area.
However,
so this banging underwater is interesting because it was nothing.
That was just aliens telling him not to do it.
No. The military knew. I mean, the Navy knew about it when it happened because they heard it. It got picked up.
As this data from marine traffic shows, a small armada of planes and ships from the U.S., Canada, France, and Britain searched thousands of square kilometers in the North Atlantic.
All that wasted time and money.
3 days after the disappearance of the Titan, the Horizon Arctic.
They knew. They already knew.
The Navy knew.
It
just shows you really when it's like recessions and stuff like that. There ain't really one.
Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! That's fucking cool. That robot
like the start of Short Circuit when he's playing that piano.
Oh, when I was little and I went to see that, I said to turn to my mum and I said, if there's anything you don't understand, just ask. And
Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. I never got to see that in the cinema. That was like my favourite film. When I was a kid growing up, that was like my number one favourite. I was gutted when you guys watched it on the cinema and I missed it.
The horizon
I love Short Circuit.
salvage pieces of the Titan. The questions
25 is alive.
So cringe, but it's got
so many hours.
Dead, disassembled, imploded.
The Coast Guard that they'd lost communication.
Beautiful light bulb.
The big question.
Stephanie, beautiful. Dead, disassembled, imploded.
Before finally the captain would put out a distress signal about the fact that they had lost contact with the Titan.
So let me answer the question with another question. Would have made it a difference?
See, look at this
what
guy.
Difference would it have made if
look at this
we'd notified the
guy.
Coast Guard, 5 minutes after we'd lost communication?
He's so defensive.
What was the Coast Guard going to do?
Well, he would be. He's probably
I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for him. Do you know what? This guy, this is the like Smash JT almost of the piece or something. It's like everything's been put on his shoulders, like all the shit. You know what I mean? Or even DJC, even like super defensive. Like it doesn't touch the reality. None of it. What these questions are, not anything that he's actually saying is touching any of the reality there.
I'm defensive just about the most basic things, and so I don't know how I would be in this situation.
Yeah, well, you just wouldn't talk to him. You wouldn't be the one talking to him. But this guy,
I don't know anything. I don't know.
No, like not my circus, not my monkey. That's basically what he's saying. But like on his shoulders, they have put all of it on him.
We called the Ghostbusters.
He's probably just fucking sick of being held to responsibilities of this other narc, but feels guilty because he let it happen. So, and as well, do you know what it is? It's that once you've come out of the brainwashing, once you've come out of the cult, and you're like, oh shit.
And then you're like, that guy was a fucking psycho, and I couldn't do anything. Also, that guy's probably richer than him, and money has power.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this guy got trodden on big time, but you can see how defensive he is. He's obviously
it's one of them. I was just doing my job.
yeah, he's just like one of these. I bet he's a knobhead, you know.
At the moment that communication.
Leave him alone. We don't know him.
Moment where the
at least have a cup of tea with him first before you decide that.
No, I've already decided, isn't it? All
right then. I don't want a cup of tea.
Abused and abused.
Did the Titan implode before it reached
by a bigger?
You got shafted, Grandad.
You did, yeah. Shafted your own granddad under that fucking pier.
The U.S. Coast Guard agreed to talk.
It was a difficult moment.
Pressure.
It's the moment that you, as a professional, that you never want to deal with.
Look at that, Tash.
You always want to bring people home safely. That's what we do.
Look at the skulls.
He's barely even got eyebrows. He's that fucking bald.
And sonar detected an unusual underwater sound.
He's put all the effort into his Tash.
Maybe he takes all the hair off so he can keep the heat in his technical.
His name's Frederick.
Frederick,
come on, Fred.
They were unable to tell us with 100% certainty that that's what it was. And quite frankly, in the business of search and rescue, we work in certainties only.
See, this guy is you can tell the difference. This guy's real.
He's genuine, yeah. He's matter of fact.
He's completely different from.
He's not emotionally involved because
Neil Armstrong. Well, that was what I was wondering, Evil. I don't know. Because again, 4 days. And you saw how small he was in there. Even if they were using Crimson Fallen's.
Look, they found the debris.
Thing, like you're still gonna have a big stack of crinkles to.
Also, they found the capsule. They found the glass window.
Capsule.
But everyone had been turned into fish food.
Titanic filmmaker James Cameron is also a sub-designer and an Ocean Gate critic.
I would submit that there's a terrible irony here. Here we have at the wreck of Titanic, we now have another wreck that is based on the same principles of not heeding warnings.
No, oh, come on, Cameron. That's not true about the Titanic. So I'm gonna argue that.
No, mate, it was on fire. It was on fire when it set off.
No, it fucking wasn't. That's bullshit. Don't listen to anything except for that channel that I sent you.
Oh right, okay. I saw that thing about it being on fire.
It had a fire on before, yes, but it was on fire when it fucking went off.
They did
Look,
special graphics and stuff, didn't they? They did like a thing.
So between
on
the
photos
and the willful intent of
ships and subs have fires on them. It's normal.
just a perfect storm.
Following a noteworthy year.
It is. My mate used to work on a sub. It was his job to put subs out in the fucking missile room. It was his job to put fires out in the missile room, which is funny because he was a pyromaniac.
To warn Stockton Rush about the Titan back in 2018, wondering could they have done
exactly, Evil? What were they using? I want to know how do you shit in that?
I reckon it was a tube
using your expertise,
that you pissed into, and then like a pot, and then like an airlock, and then it'd just go out into the sea.
I don't know if it. I doubt that very much. I think you probably had to piss in a bucket.
And love, and we care, and we are.
They're using fucking PlayStation controls.
Yeah, it was a bucket.
We know we can
bring your own bucket, bring your own shiwi to that.
But it's a two-way street, and it does make us sad. This did not have to happen.
Yeah. See, that's congruent though for him to stutter on that because it's a lot of pressure on him. It's a massively emotional thing for him, and that's why
he tried to fucking get it stopped.
Well, that's why that's sort of statement analysis you see stuff
he
like
tried
that.
to get it stopped though, didn't he? So
yeah, and it's a fail for him, isn't it? Those guys losing their lives.
He couldn't stop him.
So yeah,
tragedy may be impossible to pinpoint.
Yeah, they've got some clout, haven't they? You know what I mean? Or maybe he was just really vocal and just wanting to talk about it so much.
And, I broke the rules to make this. I think I broke
How much does this guy remind you of Tommy Tallarico now? Yeah, just put the hat on him.
Well, I did.
I will forever regret exposing my son to that risk.
Yeah, he regrets taking his son down now.
Yeah, well, that's much as the other guy.
Who died with his son in the Titan, Colin Taylor wanted to share an epic adventure with his son. He trusted Stockton Rush could safely take them down to the Titanic and back.
So I think what they knew.
He knows it could have been him, right? It could have been him and his son.
A lot of people that are familiar with carbon fiber and the stresses and cycles was that there was a shelf life, and so
he can't keep going back down.
That was capable of, and they
exactly.
So given that, do you feel lucky?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
It's like you could probably do it like a couple of times, and then you have to build a new one with that material.
Or
you can handle it once or twice, and that's it.
The fatal dive.
But even that, you're just like, why would you even?
Why would you do it? Yeah, why would you do it with that material?
Yeah, so trying to say
while the Titan was a preventable tragedy,
today
there is nothing in place to stop it all from happening again. Adventure tourism is in high demand, and such certification is not mandatory.
So yeah, it's not mandatory to get certified.
Will always be part of the package.
It's not mandatory to be certified to do this. We could do it.
Yeah, that's it. Because of the placing where he's done it. Because this is it. These guys, they know all the fucking places, all the zones, don't they? Where they can go and get like money laundered, or they can go and like Epstein Island or wherever. And then you've got your bits where you can go and take millionaires down and murder them. Like
motor out to the middle of the North Atlantic.
Vic, were you there for the? Did you see the bit where there was literally a computer panel measuring the cracks as they went down? So it's like click, 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 click all the way down. Could you imagine that? Imagine that
if it was on a fucking aeroplane.
Fuck me. Yeah, it wouldn't happen. If on a train, even on a fucking steam train, they wouldn't do it. I'll tell you what, them duffers and them steam trains wouldn't put up with this shit.
And go down 4 kilometers.
They make shit to last them.
Let's not have to talk about Boeing.
Boeing?
Yeah, the aeroplane.
What about him?
Just a lot of mismanagement and not.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that. I know Boeing.
Parts not being up to standard.
Oh, really? Oh.
Should we just briefly explore one of the other ones that I sent you?
Yes, is it on the Discord?
Hang on a sec. Let me just go back and I'll send it you. I think I'll go for the one of that dude that I really like. That's he's the one that's dead. He's like a Titanic expert.
Yeah,
well, he's a Titanic fanatic rather. But he's really smart. And,
yeah, people are really obsessed with it, aren't they? They get really into it.
He's just into boats and stuff generally, but ocean liner design. Yeah, I like this guy. He's ace.
Okay, send him across.
So oh shit! I need to go and find it on the tube. Yeah, if you want to know anything, like this is my favorite because I love a maritime thing. I love maritime sectors. So this guy is my favorite maritime dude. The tube with the lube. Yeah, you need the lube. You definitely need the lube with the tube.
The tube. Yeah, Captain D-Reed. Aye, Captain. Indeed. Set sail. We're setting sail tonight on the Titan. But while we wait, I have actually just got. We could watch a quick palate cleanser for a bit of.
Oh, you're not doing Westbit, are you?
No, not yet. I'm doing this. But only quick. What are they? They're 25 minutes, but we'll just do like 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll share my screen.
Everyone should sub to this guy, no pun intended.
Oh, this guy? Angus Deaton?
No.
Sentence.
Alexi Sale.
Yeah, I
The
thought,
legislation
this guy...
to make your flesh creep will be given its second reading in the Commons tomorrow, and there's not a thing you or I can do to stop it. The minister responsible, a man whose sanity one must surely question, said he wasn't sure what was in the bill, but it would be very upsetting for pensioners, extremely disturbing to young people, and would, in general, keep most right-minded people awake at nights in a cold sweat, worrying about it.
So this is a precursor, isn't it, to Have I Got News for You, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it. I mean, I did watch Alexi Sales and stuff as a kid because my dad used to watch it.
I grew up with it because my brother's 10 years older than me. So I grew up with, he had a tape of it. He had like a cassette tape of it.
But I think,
back in the day when comedians had, when comedy was on cassette tapes and records.
Oh, no subs. Yeah, no subs. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you're going to need that. Hey up, Retro Bro. Yeah, we're going to watch a little bit of Alexi Sales and stuff, which you guys might not have seen because it is proper UK
Give it
stuff.
5 minutes though, and then we'll get on with.
We'll only do it for 5 minutes, then we're going to do some more.
We'll watch some ocean liner designs. Like that guy.
Captain D-Reed on the good ship, Titan Emiko. Oh,
People are designed to scare the crap out of just about everything.
Well, I think that's enough of that news flash for now. I'm sure we'll all feel better once we've had a hot cup of tea.
Yes, it's 50 years of that colorful cartoon character, Alexi Sale.
Alexi Sale. Steamboat Fatty.
God, this takes me back big time.
I was brought up in
I
a
have seen
communist
this back
household.
sometime.
It was actually very traumatic for me. For example, my bed was 3 inches from the ceiling because underneath it was 20,000
short weekends
of the Morning Star. Because of my communist family connections, I was inevitably recruited into the KGB at the age of 6. But several years later, I was caught by MI5 trying to pass on details of the 4th form woodwork syllabus to my control. I was sentenced to life imprisonment, but 4 years later, I was swapped at Checkpoint Charlie for a bag of balloons and a pencil. It's very difficult for me having a name like Alexei.
Checkpoint Charlie.
Alexei would be a great name to have. All right, Alexei, you going round to Alexei's place? Yeah, I think Alexei will be there, yeah. But in Anfield, Liverpool 4, in the 50s, it was a no-no, or a niet. Whichever you want. First day at school, right? Okay, class, I want your full names. You. Arthur James Doolan, sir. Right. You. Thomas James O'Connor, sir. Right. You. You in the Red Army uniform. Can't you just call me Pupil X? No, I want your full name, son. Come on. All right then. Alexei, Yuri Gagarin, Moscow Dynamo back 4, glorious 5-year plan, Stalin, Tractor, sail safe. I think I'll just call you Pupil X, all right?
Alright, let's go for it.
Move on now. We've had a bit of Alexei Sale. The reason I put him on was because
that bloke looked like him. The bald bloke looked a bit like Alexei Sale, but with a tash.
The couple that died, like in the film, the guy looked like Alexei Sale. So there you go.
Have you got the link that I sent you?
I've not got it yet. I'm going to get it now. But let me stop sharing my.
So again, we don't have to watch all of it because it's, I don't know how long, but we'll see where we get to. It's 34 minutes long. We'll see where we get to. I love him. He dresses lovely, and he's a lovely.
Oh right, so we've got a bit of
he dresses posh. Oh no, he's not. He's not hot or anything. He's just a lovely young man. He's a lovely man. He's a lovely young with a nice young smile.
Young man. Oh, young man.
He's a lovely lad with a nice young smile.
The partner uses Monday.com, so
I think that's Sultan's a Ping, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, friend.
Oh, I see. Oh God, who does he remind? Oh my God, he reminds me of someone. I actually went out with someone who looked quite a lot like this, and he was Russian, and he was called Igor.
You went out with an Igor? Fucking hell.
I went out with a guy called Igor, yeah.
You went with an Igor? You know, this guy's cool. He knows like so much about ships and things.
I love how you talk about him. It's funny.
He's my favorite ship nerd. Not shit nerd. Ship nerd. Ship nerd. Not shit nerd.
Okay, no.
I didn't see you not seeing me come in. I didn't see him not seeing you, not seeing him in here. Go on.
To the tail end of what has been a fairly difficult and confronting week for people interested in maritime history and the maritime world as a whole.
He's a slow talker, isn't he?
Shocking pieces.
Speed it up.
I bloody am.
Vessel.
Where is it?
Capsized, carrying hundreds of people on board, with hundreds of lives lost. The second piece of news was that
still too slow.
Ocean Gate's immersive
This is like carnivals.
The scope and tragedy of the two disasters, and a lot of talk about that on the internet. The purpose of this video is to
put subtitles on.
Of Titan, and there's a few more developments actually since I wrote the points of the script of this video. So at certain points I'll be going off script to explain. But I thought you might be interested in some of the techniques and some of the technologies involved in actually locating the wreck, because this week there's a lot of words being thrown around: sonar, radar.
It's all about the ambiance.
That kind of thing. So
I wonder if he has read all the books on there. That's the thing. It's like on my bookshelf. When I used to have a bookshelf, I used to make sure I'd read everything on there before I put it on. Apart from like maybe one.
People on board, including
but I don't have a bookshelf anymore.
Many within the ocean line community. Paul Henri Narcissist, PH, as he was known, a giant in his field, and just an absolute legend. So, yeah, it's been pretty tough. And I don't think the ocean liner and Titanic community is particularly big, so it feels a little bit like we've lost some family here. And yeah, I think we're all very sad. I avoided making this or any video for about a week or so as events have unfolded, but I feel like now I've got some more input and can speak to some of the more technical parts of the situation, which is more in the character of the channel. So I'm going to split this video up into a couple of parts. First, I'll explain why companies like OceanGate even dive for the Titanic in the first place. Then we'll look at the submersible Titan itself and how it was built. And finally, the techniques that have been used and the immense challenges inherent in the epic search for the submarine. So first of all, why do we dive the wreck of the Titanic? Why do we continue to do so? Titanic's wreck was found back in 1985 by Dr. Robert Ballard and his team. She's resting almost 4 kilometers down, something like 12,500 feet in absolutely crushing depth. And
500
thousands of dives out of Titanic in all different kinds of submersibles, the most famous probably being Alden, owned by the US Navy and operated by Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. It's been in service since 1964. Alden's got 5,000 dives under its belt, and it's still in service today. The 2 near submarines.
So that's good shit that can handle it.
Yeah, that looks proper.
Just recently laid up that could probably still work just fine. You know, just a month ago, we made a video on this channel about the really exciting things that were being done by Magellan and Atlantic Productions in scanning the Titanic wreck and taking photographs of it and turning that into a photogrammetry model. So there's still clearly a lot of interest in the Titanic, and I feel like a lot of this is being mischaracterized as some kind of just millionaire's folly that they're just a tourist submarine experience, which is just not true. OceanGate is a legitimate scientific research organization, privately funded.
He's backing up the work that they have done, which I think is fair. Like, it's fair to give them that side, yeah?
Yeah.
Predominantly for science. So the Titanic wreck is interesting because it rests on the seafloor.
Puzzle game.
I feel like it's fair to give it this side because
there are mountains.
Why are they going down there? What are they doing? You know.
Basins.
And I feel
Go on.
Mountainous ranges underwater. But because it's so deep,
Oh, the 2 for 1, but it costs double now. It's $2
Can you slow it down a little touch?
Last pieces here, they kind of have to know what they're looking for. The Titanic, by sheer nature of it being so big, has now turned into something like a bit of an oasis, you know, in this desert. Now there's hundreds and hundreds of species of not only animals like rat-tailed fish and things like that, but also microbes that were previously unknown to science. And they actually named one after Titanic. It was discovered as late as 2010 and it was called Alemonis titanicae. So we're still learning things about our planet. And the whole point
where's the picture of the creature? Is that
I don't think it showed it. What was it called? Titanicus what? Halibus?
To fund this venture, OceanGate also allowed for civilians to come along and receive some minimal training as mission specialists.
Its name completely.
Running dives purely for
it's like the fucking in television.
Reasons,
it's like Darius is to Sega Genesis what Tommy Tallarico was to television. They didn't even make any money out of it.
Dive the Titanic to learn about the science, to learn about
Sega Genesis send news.
And also to
wait till you hear the story, mate. I can't wait to do that. That'll be a stream for me and you, and I'll do your little presentation. We'll see if anyone wants to come on the channel as well for that. It'll be funny. I'll do that.
Mystery and intrigue and total misinformation. So, reviewing
never lose. That's a lie.
OceanGate has got us some of the most.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Lie.
Would have been unthinkable, decades ago. That's just in the last couple of years was front page news. But the actual
But you shouldn't be taking people down, basically. I appreciate the work that they've done besides that, but taking people down is a different fucking thing.
My video was the other week about how do they navigate Titanic.
Exactly.
Congratulations, because now you understand how almost every other ship from that era navigated, because Titanic used the same stuff. So you put it in the context of Titanic, people will click, people are interested in it, and people will learn a lot. So let's talk about the submersible Titan. Why is it not a submarine? This is a semantic thing, but a submersible is a vehicle that can submerge, but is predominantly reliant on exterior support. So in the case of Titan, she was not tethered to the mothership, but relied on navigational inputs and things like that. A submarine is almost a completely self-independent vehicle that wouldn't need exterior support to operate or function correctly. So
right, so it can go out on its own. It's
like tethering. Would tethering have helped?
So a submersible is something that needs a boat to take it out. It's not a boat in itself, whereas a submarine is something that needs like a submarine is self-contained and it's like a ship but that goes on the sea. But
But my point
Yeah,
is,
that's interesting because I hadn't thought of that. It can't just go out on its own like a submarine. It needs other boats and things. Yeah.
So it's like just diving. It's just diving equipment, isn't it?
It's a diving thing. Yeah. It's a diving thing.
So
it's a little.
It wasn't tethered. Would that have made the safety better? Is my question, because
no, it wouldn't. But he said it's just semantics. That's all.
Because they would. Yeah. I mean,
no, he just said he's only mentioning it because it's semantics. It's not important.
Okay. And I'm just thinking though that, because they had issues with getting the comms and stuff. Why didn't they just tether it to the ship?
Because when you're going underwater, you're bound to lose comms occasionally because of the depth.
Even if it's wired.
Well, come on, you lose fucking comms on Wi-Fi.
No, but it's not wired. If you've got a wire running to a ship.
Also, when you're going down at that depth, as you just explained, it's mountainous down there. You're surrounded by mountains.
It's not like
the ocean isn't just it's not empty and flat and there's nothing under there. You're surrounded by actual mountains.
Yeah.
And so that's why.
That's cool. I would like to see all that.
Yeah. It's not just like you go down and there's only water. It's fucking mountains and shit.
Yeah, man.
I'm just gonna grab a drink. Carry on.
Okay.
Ouch.
Alternate between submersible and submarine, please forgive me. The guiding philosophy around Titan's design and construction was simplicity. We've seen the news make a huge deal out of the fact that a simple games controller, a Logitech Bluetooth controller, was used to control the submarine. This doesn't smack of last-minute unpreparedness or cheapness. This is almost kind of becoming standard practice. The US Navy, for example, the submarine USS Colorado, has employed almost identical controllers for operating the sub's weapons, some of the weapon systems, to operate the photonic masts, which essentially replace the periscope in the submarine. So it's easy, it's intuitive,
it's just like
it's simple, and it's
toys,
isn't
isn't it?
You haven't looked at that one about that that submarine that imploded. I'll have to send you one about that. That's dark. The submarine that went into crush depth and imploded. That's fucking horrible.
Oh god, that sounds like an accident rather than a narc.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was an accident. It was fucking horrible though.
Yeah.
Recently, many experts have come forward claiming that they were concerned about the way the submersible was designed and constructed. So let's look at why and how Titan was a departure from traditional deep-sea submersible design. First, I need to introduce you to Alvin. Alvin is a research deep-sea submersible first introduced in 1964. Around 5,000 dives under its belt and it's still in service.
I like it.
Most deep-sea submersibles follow Alvin's pattern of design. At its core, if you strip away all the surface-level exterior stuff, the submersible is built around this crew compartment called the pressure vessel. Everything outside of this compartment is simply equipment which by themselves don't need protection from the crushing water pressure at depth, but everything inside the pressure vessel must be protected, including the crew. So the pressure vessel has to be able to stand up to the insane conditions. In the case of the Titanic wreck site, the pressure is about 400 times that on the surface, or the equivalent of 6,000 pounds per square inch, or 3 tons of pressure per square inch. To survive this kind of insane force, the Alvin's pressure vessel is a special shape. It's a sphere.
It's round. Exactly. It's round.
The wall thickness is about 2 inches.
Like that's like the thing that Cameron used.
Here on screen.
Is this what Cameron used?
It seems completely logical that all of that stuff would be balls.
Yeah, the ball shape is what Cameron used. Maybe is that what he used?
Yeah, well, that's what you'd expect it to look like.
Yeah, it's round and it's reinforced steel.
The diving bells and all that
around the pressure vessel. But this one was not in the shape of a ball, but a cylinder. Why the departure from tried and true engineering? Well, this could be linked to Ocean Gate's model, taking civilian backers as mission crew to help fund the research.
So they were kind of like using so I guess they were trying to use people to get funding for their things, but they should have not taken people down.
Trying to can 5 into a sphere, but you need to make it larger than Alvin's pressure vessel.
Or found a different way of making money. You could sell, like say, send a couple of drones down that people could control.
Or just wait till you've got the right technology.
The mission, so it can't be heavy.
He couldn't wait though. He had to prove his point.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They could fit 5, which is 2 more people than Alvin. So how do you make a cylinder?
I don't have an issue with the desire to explore and the desire to do that, because there's a lot of things that you can learn, but
wound strands
Red Bull, thank you, that's nice.
Sidewall thickness was
It's a change, it makes a change.
A whopping 12.7 centimeters or 7 inches. This is a huge jump.
Bitchy men.
Oh, they really are. They're like old women, though, aren't they? They really are. Like grandma.
And I'm not a bitchy woman at all. I'm the least bitchy woman on the planet, except when I'm drunk occasionally.
I think Ricardo actually showed himself to be more of a grandma than DB. So I should take the title off DB.
Hemisphere
Or maybe you can share it
very heavily reinforced, made out of titanium.
with Ricardo.
After the carbon fiber pressure vessel,
So some of it was made out of titanium.
So the exact method of bonding is a mystery to me, but articles online from when this was done in
some of it
focus on tight engineering tolerances.
Yeah, but the rest of it was made of
the heavy duty hemispheres.
So
one of which
this is interesting though because he was explaining how it was made and stuff.
Talk about possible
because just as a layman who doesn't know anything about this shit, like surely if you've got some parts that can withstand stronger pressure than other parts, sure that's going to make even more
but
of a problem.
It's fine for shallow research, but
pressured stuff under pressure.
Yeah, it's fine for like more shallow research, and they were doing a lot of good work. Like he says, they've done a lot of good work exploring the Titanic and exploring. But what he's done here is a fucking big mistake, like obviously
intentional
failure for both designs. Naturally, hatches and portholes might be seen as weak points, but they actually aren't. They use water pressure to their benefit. Alvin has a single crew hatch on top of the pressure vessel. You would think that this might be a weak point, but the water pressure acting on the submersible from the outside actually presses in on the hatch, making the seal.
Such a nerd, I love him.
Portholes,
I love how nerdy he is.
Extremely thick.
I love
nerds. Pressure, and they're pressed
I'm a
in.
Scorpio, so I'm attracted to brains.
Remember when I mentioned the spheres of pressures? There are no obvious places for pressure to build up.
That looks like TikTok from Wizard of Oz.
Series of
Return to Oz.
But it also looks like that thing that you put your arms in Crystal Maze to get the radiation shit, the radioactive.
Same principle.
Crystal Maze.
Crystal Maze.
Obviously,
that's definitely one that I'll put on this stream.
Crystal Maze was wicked.
I fucking love it, and I don't think many people
remember Krypton Factor as well.
Yes, I've watched both of those, but Krypton Factor doesn't stand the test of time the same.
Doesn't it? Crystal Maze does, I bet.
Crystal Maze definitely. Oh god, I still watch it. Watch it often with my kids.
Instead, areas of concern around Titan focus on the materials.
Richard O'Brien, I quite like
now he's explaining the
put into place. After dozens of dive cycles and pressurizations, and remember, at this point, the submersible is about 5 or 6 years old. The fear is that the material might be susceptible to delamination.
5 or 6 years.
On top of that,
like at that point, you've got a limit on it. So yeah, it might be okay to go down a few times, like a few hundred times even or whatever. But like after a point, you've got a limit on this. So it's not completely unsafe at first, but you've got a limit on it. Like you've got to limit it and go. You've got to acknowledge its shelf life.
Yeah, you designed it to be disposable, and you choose
exactly.
later to take.
And then acknowledge it's fucking right, that's had enough. Like this many goes and that's it. And maybe that would be okay. Maybe it would have been alright if it had limited it to fucking this many times and then that's it. But he's going again and again and again, knowing that it's already damaged.
At that point, you can understand why you couldn't believe that it could be that as bad as it was, because it couldn't be, could it? You wouldn't, and put your own life at risk, knowing that stuff. That guy, oh my god, these guys were so deluded. It must have been a full-on cult. He must have surrounded himself with cult members. He must have done.
Passion becomes delusion.
Was neat. Here, Titan may have featured around 2 or 3.
Well, that actually brings up another question, that with the passion, because it's like, if you going on one of those videos, the Sam Vaknin videos, where he was saying about the unlimited freedoms of the psychopath, it's like that whole thing, isn't it? To want to let yourself have that much passion in the first place.
I don't think that this guy was a psychopath. I think he was deluded by his passion.
I'm not saying he's a psychopath. I'm just saying it's like where things can end up, isn't it? But I'm just saying, like,
but it is like he's so passionate about it, and he's like, I want to do things that nobody's done before, and I want to and I'm willing to break the rules, which
He
is
wants
fine.
To be God. He wants to be God.
We wouldn't have planes in the sky if fucking Wright brothers hadn't fucking broken the rules to begin with. You know what I mean? So there is that, but that these people know what they're doing. We have the information. We can create digital versions of these things that will
exactly.
We can create. Yeah, you can create a digital version of it and computerize it so it.
You could probably do one.
You can test it digitally to figure out what will happen to it and know that it's not safe. Like
I need to address something. Right, Vic, if you're still there, come back. It was for 10 seconds, and I will give you the main. I'll give you a big wrench, so you can.
A big wrench. Why?
I gave Red Bull the big wrench because I promised him that he would be my main mod on here.
Why is the time's out?
Hey?
Why did the time Victor out?
I don't know. I've no idea. For no reason. How do I can't do anything about it, can I? Yeah, that's it. Because his pin pan's strong. That's it. Because Vic didn't have a big wrench, and I just gave him I just randomly gave wrenches.
I've got a wrench though too.
I don't know if you've got a big one or not.
I could time you all out if I wanted. They should have another wrench that's bigger than the others, so you can then you need like a red wrench as well.
I know. Well, that's because you end up.
Go on, carry on.
Far then. That's how this stuff happens.
This is why many in the deep dive community were questioning carbon fiber as a pressure hull material. It was simply experimental and under-evaluated. Titan was the largest wound pressure vessel yet constructed and the first one to ever be employed to dive the Titanic. So now with some understanding of the Titan's construction and its potential weaknesses, let's look at what we know has been found in the debris of the wreck. So some of the first pieces of debris to be found were the exterior tail cone, which is not part of the pressure vessel, along with some of the steel
they
frame.
were the bits that were made of titanium, right?
And stern titanium airspeeds from the pressure vessel. Whether or not these are still connected.
So those bits
if you try and make something like you try and make a boat out of paper and you put 2 bits of plastic on either side, it'll float at first, but the paper will get pulled in by the weight of the other 2 things.
It's a relatively
that's like a
analogy, but yeah, I see what you mean.
It's just like you put heavy things on the end of something light. I know titanium's quite light, but in that pressure, it's different. I know why it's a weak one because it's not gravity.
I mean, I'm not a fucking scientist.
I'm
not an engineer, so.
But I've worked in. I'm a play worker. I've worked in play work. I've done junk modelling, and I know.
Well, like if you're gonna put something that's weak to holes and things,
Yeah, put something flimsy in the middle of something solid, and it's going to go to shit every time.
Why did he choose that? I don't know why he chose that. Why did he choose that material?
It's like he's pushing the boundary on purpose for his own ego.
No, it's just why did he choose that material? Was it cost?
It's like the extra part of it. The extra.
Like I want to know why he chose that when other things had worked, and why didn't he choose the I don't know. I don't understand why he chose that particular material, knowing that it was prone to like damage, Anyway, go on.
So that's a bit of a look at how Titan was built, why some were concerned about its construction. I want to avoid conjecture too much, so I'm not going to go into where I think that the point of failure might have been. That will be ascertained in time, but that's a bit more of a detailed look at how this thing was actually built. So we know how she was made and what's been found so far. But now let's look at the incredible techniques and technologies that were actually used in the hunt to find the submersible. Essentially, in a normal dive, Titan and submersibles, just like her, would select a point that was far enough away from the Titanic wreck. They weren't really at risk of dropping directly on top of it, because that could be catastrophically bad, obviously. So they would descend in essentially a free fall at a rate of around about 2 to 4 kilometers per hour, averaging about 3. And they would do so in almost a powered down state, essentially. The non-crucial electronic equipment is essentially on standby because you don't need power. It's a 2-hour drop. And the submarine is just essentially falling for 3 or 4 kilometers. So the crew turn off a lot of systems they don't need and kind of just.
No, he used a proper one. They showed it, didn't they? Was that the one from the 60s?
I don't know.
It was one that looks like this one that's actually come up. He used a proper one.
Well, but that's how they do it. You have like ballast. Is it ballast where you have to drop loads of weight and then you drop down and then in order to come back up, you lose those weights.
Yeah.
To go back up.
Yeah.
In previous expeditions. And then on approach to the seabed, the submersible would begin to power up those crucial systems like the engines and things like that. So when reaching the seafloor, they can come to a gentle rest, thrusters are powered up, and they can then start making their way towards the wreck of the Titanic to have a look. Typically, the bow is the most iconic, it's the most easy rallying point for easy navigation towards. And in Titan's case, the submersible actually relied on signals from the mothership to navigate, which people again have made a lot of, but it's it's a different way of doing things. The design philosophy for this vessel is simplicity. Why would you need to load a submersible up with a lot of navigational equipment when now we could rely on other communication systems to essentially govern the submersible?
Apart from when the communication systems break down.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because it's kind of coming from people like Bob Ballard, who found Titanic back in '85, James Cameron, and people in the know. There was a catastrophic implosion of the vessel when the hull was breached, that woven carbon fiber hull.
Tilly presents the family getaway.
Get these swimsuits off camera.
Hotels
skip it, mate. Not allowed.
Room options,
bastards.
And quiet spaces
I
for
watch
guests.
these idiots.
Your next family getaway.
Narcissists, all of them. Wankers. Fuck off. Fucking wankers. Fuck off.
That's just got our. That's just got this video.
And
fucking.
It seems that
was it?
they were
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Submersible had an acoustic system that was essentially designed to tell if the hull of the vessel was under stress from sounds it was making. It would then essentially sound an alarm saying,
yeah, it was a proper one, the one that you made. He put effort in, because it was like a big project for them, wasn't it?
James Cameron's a fucking movie maker, and even he put more effort into it.
Yeah, they put reality behind it because they wanted to make something. They wanted to make a movie. They didn't just want to get to the top of the mountain.
Well, he's actually genuinely interested in the Titanic as well. But...
yeah. I think
obviously
a lot of people
for
are.
quite some time, in the last few days, the search has been treated as a search and rescue, and people were fixated on the idea of.
Saw them fucking expensive bottles of champagne down there.
We understand what has happened through the time.
The most expensive bottles of champagne and wine ever on earth down there, and some of them have been rescued. Some of them have, yeah.
Have they drunk them?
I don't know if they drink them because, like, it's a collectible, isn't it? I'd fucking drink it. I'd fucking drink it. Don't leave that shit with me. Don't leave your expensive wine with me.
I'd be Bill Bailey and you could be Bernard Black.
Yeah, Black Books. Yeah. We'll drink the dusty wine and not the cheap, clean wine.
Not the expensive clean wine. We'll have the cheap dusty wine.
The cheap dusty wine.
Scouring the sea surface to visually make contact with
and then they had to make their own one. And he's outside and he's whacking him with a stick, and that woman walks by with a pushchair.
He's putting the privet in.
Transmitter that fires out radio.
If you watch Black Books, guys, it's the funniest comedy you've got. What?
Yeah, we can do a Black Books reaction one night. That'd be fun.
And some bounce back at the
just all like sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah, you have to react to it though, otherwise
we should do that as a thing. Should be like
you've got to react to it, otherwise it's copyright, you know.
Because there's only us and DVD Fever and Vault. And that's it. Where they and Bob, of course. But
so the Titan wasn't much bigger than a family car.
Jesus Christ! No way!
Imagine going down in going down there in a fucking.
You wouldn't be able to pay me to do that shit.
Imagine going down there in an old Skoda.
How do you search for
something? Going back from home. Bad enough that we're only 3.5 hours. It was bad enough we were done by the end of that.
Primary tool.
Get out, need to get out.
When I say stupid, I mean before they became.
I like Period.
underwater.
Imagine that, though. You can't nip out for a fag.
Yeah. Hello, Kia. You're right.
One of these was a very
You'd have to have nappies on and Nicorette
two microphones
patches.
placed in Titanic's hull.
Nappies and Nicorette.
Patched up to fuck, like, you know, which one is it where he's like, I've got a little bit of skin left here, stick it on here. No, which film that's from.
That danger and that hazard. Navigating or searching for things with acoustics is not new technology, but it has been effective. Sonar is the technology of choice for using sound underwater to find things. There are two kinds.
Sonar. It fucks up whales. The whales don't like it.
I think we're just listening to the sounds of the ocean.
Sonar fucks with whales.
Trying to hear
I see whales.
made and distinguish between now, tapping sounds, suppose the tapping sounds that are coming.
The sounds
being
of
a whale. Being
from
a
the
whale. I speak whale.
Big monkeys, go back up there.
Through water a long distance. There are two kinds of passive sonar. There's wideband and narrowband. And essentially wideband is like casting a wide net.
Whale in a previous life.
And you hear a sound and that's
Yeah, they do speak whales. I thought you were talking about whales at first, to be fair.
Yeah, I am speaking about whales.
Narrowband is like taking a microscope.
I was a whale in a previous life.
All different frequencies.
We're not paying attention to this man.
Dolphins and whales and tectonic activity.
See, he's talking about whales.
So you can essentially split the sound apart and pick out, okay, that is a boat. That is a whale.
That's a whale. That's a boat. That's a whale.
Search and rescue aircraft and your sonar buoys into the water.
I'm a whale.
For any sounds. And
not
of course,
a boat.
Easy ways for submarine.
Don't shoot!
Boat. Whale. Awesome.
Back inside the hull of their submarine. The sound will travel through the water and it will be heard. The secret to this is not to constantly not
Whales speak well.
Lost in this huge soundscape that is the ocean. The ocean is very loud, surprisingly loud. Not only that, but sonar buoys or
like again short circuit too, isn't it? You do a song like in the end where she does do what did he on the phone. Just do a song, like maybe had a little lamb or something on it.
It helps with the message.
Well, apparently the Welsh word for whale is morphil.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, morphil.
What it actually is. So
morphil, I copied the spider. That was one of the big Duolingo ones. Morphil and copy.
Every half an hour.
The spider and the whale.
Kind of messaging from below is very clearly a deliberate attempt at making contact with the outside world. It's regular. It's at intervals that are perfectly timed, and it will cut through the noise because it happens and then it stops, as opposed to continual sound you can just get lost. So that kind of tapping would be picked up by passive sonar. There was obviously some news about this, about supposed sounds.
Yeah, we thought that they'd found them, but
yeah, that was bullshit.
It was bollocks.
Some of the crew on the submersible,
not just people with clicks. Some
rapping on the side of the hull to that kind of rhythm to establish contact with the outside world and reach sonar buoys or passive sonar listeners. Disturbingly, the United States Navy heard the implosion of the submersible the day it went missing. Pretty much the minute that communications with the outside world were actually lost.
Yeah.
And they immediately reported that to the incident commander. The way they heard that is that the United States government, which has a quite secret installation of essentially passive sonar listening devices all over the ocean that they were originally installed during the Cold War to listen for Soviet submarines.
Oh, but they're still there though.
I don't know who the news reporter of the week guy is.
They heard with their passive sonar. They actually heard.
We installed it during the Cold War, but we've left them there.
Hold the incident controller, and so search teams were able to use that information to essentially zero in on.
Because it comes in handy.
Finally, we come to the second type of sonar with the passive sonar. The other type that can be used to locate a missing submarine or submersible is active sonar. Now, I am sure that from movies or cartoons, a lot of you would be familiar with this sound.
I'm a vape.
Active sonar was used by.
I'm going to use active sonar to find my vape.
Look out for enemy submarines and check. The way it works, unlike passive sonar is essentially just listening to the ocean. Sonar is sending a signal out into the ocean I'm waiting for those.
It's not an ocean, though. It's
Or
just my
if you knew what the resonance frequency was of your vape, you
sonar
could.
It's
installation.
not a room. It's not an ocean. It's just my room.
That the sound bounced off of, what shape it is, how big it is, that kind of thing. Now, this is called a sonar ping, and it is essentially its basic form a very, very, very loud sound that is made by seems like the transmitter, we'll say, of the sonar installation that is just fired off underwater, and this can really startle anything in its path, especially animals and divers. It's an amazing.
I bet it does. Jesus
kindly
Christ!
like
Maybe just going for a little swim around. And...
Listen to this sonar ping from a nearby US Navy vessel while Jim was just diving, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh! Oh, the whales and the dolphins are well pissed off with us. Well pissed off with us. They're out of fucking sonar.
I hear it pinging off.
I didn't even realise.
As it goes through the ocean. It's a good demonstration of how
Cool.
sound itself just travels underwater. Active sonar is a lot more advanced than it was back in the day during World War II, when submarine sonar and destroyer sonar sound like this. Single note, single frequency, it can give very, very limited information.
Das Boots.
Oh, that's cool, Q, yeah.
Multiple tones, multiple frequencies.
That's cool.
Dozens of pings per second even that can be used to map a very complex image of what objects are.
Oh man, them fucking dolphins will be well pissed off with us.
Active sonar literally a visual map of an environment that's and ironically it's been used to great effect.
I can't speak dolphin, I can only speak whale.
Active sonar.
Yeah. They don't do dolphin on Duolingo, but they do Welsh.
I did a judo.
You do
judo.
Active sonar data.
Oh my God, kill me.
Visual map.
Reeves and Mortimer.
Essentially a 3D scan.
I don't do judo, but I do.
Sonar.
I do voodoo. I don't do voodoo, but I do judo.
Type is not very big, but could have.
Is that
Reeves and Mortimer.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think when it's from. That's from Big Night Out, isn't it?
No, it's from the smell of Reeves and Mortimer.
The smell of Reeves and Mortimer, that's right. That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Hundreds and thousands of objects.
Focus.
No,
because now you've got me thinking, because of voodoo, it's like cottage cheese,
cottage cheese.
Then you'll agree that cottage cheese is the only cheese guaranteed to be.
What you expect about somebody?
What about Wensleydale? Oh, so generous.
Good job we were in school together, because we would have fucking not got anything done.
This week
no.
Is that
I had someone who I quoted Reeves and Mortimer with in geography.
Here's my drawing
all the time
of the Titanic's wreck.
It's called.
Yeah, you, if you and I were in school together, like me and my friend, we would have been sat together, having been naughty elsewhere, inseparable, and then up to no good at all.
All chunks of Titanic superstructure just jutting out of the silt. There are hundreds and hundreds of pieces bigger than Titan that could shroud it, that could hide the submersible.
Yeah, he should make this content.
Scan. They would never see it. Were the submersible
he should.
The area relatively.
I don't know why he doesn't. He could do those art things, you know, when they do the thing where they talk and they tell a story and draw a picture. He could tell his tales, couldn't he? Tell his tales of the rat nest and do us a little picture while he's doing it. If he ever listens to this, please write it down. Tales of the Rat Nest. Make it, take power back. Take the power back from those guys. They tried to fucking ride you. You ride the fuck out of them now.
Much clearer understanding.
And we'd all support you.
The whole failed, and the submarine was destroyed, so the wreckage has been located. But truthfully, at the time of writing this script, the submersible was nowhere to be found, and I genuinely thought that it might hide somewhere down there in the sonar shadow of a much bigger object. But yeah, I hope this has been interesting. I didn't feel comfortable making a video until we, had a bit more certainty over what is happening. But hopefully this will help you kind of cut through the noise of some of the words that were being thrown around this week. You should have a decent understanding.
Everyone needs to stop to this guy, by the way. No pun intended, because he's really
cool. I think I might do Igor.
His other videos are really good and really informative, and he does a lot of content about maritime disasters. And he's a super nerd. You should sub to him.
He's dressed up nice, like you say. He's put the effort in.
Dressed up nice. Dresses up nice.
He's not wearing a fucking Games Chasers t-shirt.
Dressed up nice. he dresses up nicely and knows a lot about ships and things.
Oh, that's all right. He's all right. I will sub to him.
He's wicked. You should sub to him. No pun intended.
I will. Now, without any further
Tell him I
ado,
sent you. Tell him Lemur sent you.
I will. For a free. Even
though I'm not sub to him as Lemur, but I'm sub to him as my mysterious other self. But that's a secret, and no one's ever gonna know.
All right. I'm in charge of the next.
You're in charge of everything.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
You're not going to do Whisper though, please.
I am.
Fuck off.
We've done it. I'm
going to
the one. There was one that I watched, and it was just unbelievable.
Yes. Well, this community is totally safe. I'm sure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's like, if you believe Dean, he'd be like, no, it's fine, love. I'll do you a t-shirt if you want.
I'll dox myself and I'll get my bum out as well.
Send me your mum's address. Send me your address.
My mum's not around anymore, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's it. But that's what he would be doing.
I've got a limited family, so you don't need to worry about that.
That's what he'd be doing.
I've got nothing to lose anyway. I've got nothing at all.
You think that until it happens.
I know.
Thought that.
I'll just get my bum out anyway.
You've got everything to gain, and if you gain a couple of kilograms, you could have nothing to lose, but you could gain some serious infection. Which
I'm sure they would all like to see my bum, but
well, you could gain a few customers, couldn't you? I suppose. Just send brass. That's what he has to call. That's how he got called on brass.
I'd have to share my my PayPal address, and then that would link me to things.
Yeah,
I do have lovely lady humps, and I do. Kidulthood. What's kidulthood? I don't know what kidulthood is.
And Bean TV and Harold.
What's kidulthood? What's kidulthood? I don't know what that is. What's kidulthood? I need to Google it. I don't know what kidulthood is.
It's a film, I think. I haven't seen it.
Is it? I sound like isn't.
How have you not to sleep? Well, it's actually like 2:00 or 3:00 in the afternoon for me, Harold. So it's all right. And also, you guys know I take a lot of naps. So there's that.
Hang on a minute. He's saying that it's a British drama that's focuses on people that generally behave in a violent and lawless manner.
Well, that's not right. That sounds. He knows you so well. Yeah.
I was born in a posh area. I'll have you know.
Oh well, they're the worst. They're the worst. Them ones.
No, they called us weekend warriors. Weekend warriors. I hate this, by the way. I hate this.
So
I hate this.
Yeah,
this
she hates
being,
it. I hate
crazy.
This. I watched this.
I hate this. I hate Whisper. I hate Whisper. I'm going to swear a lot. Just to let you know, I'm going to swear a lot now.
It's one of these things where I thought we could do it because the whole point is
I fucking hate
I
Whisper.
don't just want to show stuff that you guys haven't seen. I want to show stuff which has potentially aided the fuck up of our society. And so this is like one of them. And this definitely fucked kids up.
It didn't fuck me up. I just hate it.
Oh, man. When I was a kid, I wasn't that much of a fan of it, I have to say, but I didn't mind the Paul Daniels bits. I loved Paul Daniels.
Whisper is a cunt. You loved Paul.
Yeah, but I loved Paul Daniels.
I don't have an issue with Paul Daniels. It's just Whisper is a cunt.
Yeah, I know, but I watched it because of Paul Daniels. So anyway, this is it.
Hello, my little magic sets. Hello, hello, and welcome.
If you all
Now,
sub to my
we don't know
channel,
if he's a nonce, do we? We don't know for sure. But there was definitely a very dodgy room.
it doesn't fucking matter. But if you on my channel, I posted a whisper thing. I posted a kid. Are you all sub to my channel? I don't think you are. What? Even if you're not, then why not, losers?
Yeah, man. He had.
I
What's his
don't
name?
think
Debbie.
Red Bull is sub to my channel. And
Debbie was
TV, who's here for the bums? You should definitely sub to my channel if you're here for the bums.
Yeah, definitely not mine. You're never going to see my bum.
Paul Daniels should make. What is Paul Daniels dead?
It's all about problems and
Isn't Paul Daniels
Yeah,
dead
he is
now?
now. He is now. Yeah, he is dead.
No,
Yeah.
Paul Daniels can't make videos about Lemur calling him a cunt because he's no longer with us.
Yeah, but Debbie's still around. Debbie.
He's
Debbie will have you. She's got a strong lawyer. But she did she do something?
The channel link. Can't you
I'm
just?
sure she took.
Can't you just
Louis
click on
through.
me?
I'm sure she took Louis through to court.
What?
Debbie McGee.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't. It was a different time. How do I?
Don't worry though, it's not quite as heavy as it sounds. We are going to have a lot of fun in the telling of this tale. You know, there's an old saying that goes, never gamble on a sure thing. There's another old saying that says, never gamble on the game. Sounds different, but it's the same message. Never gamble. I shall illustrate the wisdom of those
There's
words
not
by
bums on my channel at the moment, but there might be. I don't think YouTube allows bums.
Do lots of different things. Never gamble if you see this. You see, what they do is they use 2 black 10s like that and a red queen. That's all they use. And then they throw them down on the table. And what you've got to do is try to find the queen.
I hate Paul Daniels. I just hate Whisper.
Wait, that's what you would expect.
So he's putting a fake voice on here, which is a very interesting
Can we
thing.
just get to the Whisper bit? Because
Fuck
this bit.
Like that and say, where's the queen? Don't gamble on the middle one.
No, never the middle.
Because in olden days, before anything was shocking.
I don't have an OnlyFans.
Came from Hanky Poo, the blacks for me.
You'd get friends and family discount if I did, though.
20. If you find the lady, you'll win plenty. Now here
I
we
have
go.
friends that do that, though.
We're going to just put it down, and over here we got the 2 black 10s. Where's the queen? There.
You like clowns?
No. That's better. Nice 40. Probably from the puzzle bank. Let's see if they won. No, sorry. There you see it. Some people never ever gamble on a sure thing.
I'm asking for a friend if you like clowns.
On the hard way, it doesn't pay to gamble at all. Come closer. Look. Listen. And wonder. So, hey, let me tell you about wow. Once it was a little bit magic in his daddy's eye. Time to roll a bit.
No! Fuck off! No!
His daddy then told him that it was time to try. Magic. Do a little magic. Oh, be kind.
Fuck off, Whisper. I hate you. I hate you. It's us. Why are you saying I thought we were friends?
We watched this after a night out on.
I thought we were friends. Why are you making me watch?
Still for a minute while I talk to you.
I love kids TV, but Whisper I hate. And that rabbit is so on mad or crack or something like that.
Well, let me see.
That rabbit is so fucking high.
A fox.
A chicken, a bag of grain, and a fox.
Oh, no, I hate that.
Sounds like that could be a little bit concerning, unless you're very careful, Willie.
No, it's a piece of carrot. I mean, it's a piece of cake to me.
Well, I hope so, Willie. Don't forget. Now, if you need any help, you just
That was my question as a kid. I'm like, what is it? What is it?
Fire.
It's like, obviously it's a wizard's hat now, but when I was a kid, I just didn't work out what wizard it was.
What? Who said that?
Yeah.
Kill it with fire. Kill it with fire.
Oh, fucking hell, forgot about this guy. The goons. Yeah, job audition. This one is what it's like on their private Discord or on their private Twitter, whatever it is.
Oh, I've got 7 subs now. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for the subs.
It's just a pantomime, isn't it? They just made it into a pantomime.
I got 3 subs.
What? Now let me get this clear. Oh,
you won't recover it. It's just a shame that I can't tell you who I really am. I might be someone really important that you don't know about. I am someone really important.
Yeah, that's it. Human perhaps exactly, because it's not just working class. That is actually referencing. There was a massive, and there still is, but much more than there was. There was a massive north-south divide and a massive hatred of the.
Are you saying there isn't now?
No, well, it's better than it was, but yeah, I mean, it's like women in
now. Oh, come on, like, everyone hates people from Manchester.
No, not really. I don't think so. Maybe more in the 90s or something. Yeah, 80s and 90s. It was really, on the media, it's more...
I love everyone.
Now, but I
even appreciate the French.
It's the narc thing of... being seen to be doing something, so they need to be seen to do it, so it's more insipid now. It's all there, but it's like you can't fight against it. In the 80s and 90s it was really obvious. They just put a flat cap on you, put a funny voice on, and you were an idiot.
I've been to California. It's a lovely
place. You can see it in even in Lord of the Rings, like, you know, Samwise Gamgee.
I've been the California case.
And he is every bit as stupid as he looks. He is stupid and gullible. He is on his way from top town to see Harry Green the Grocer at Pasolopoulos. Then he goes over the river to the market. Then he returns over the river.
Yeah, California thing. So the North got a load of shit. The Scots got it even worse. The Irish got it fucking unbelievable.
We love the Scots.
Well, in the media portrayal in the 80s and 90s, they got shit. They were just the tight-arse bastards. Very much that cliche like on The Simpsons. It was just that. That was all there was. And
Train Spotting saved them.
Because
of the line. What was it? Because of the line. What was it? The English are just The English are just wankers. We're colonized by wankers, or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's true, because the Scots, and as I said before, the Scots and the Welsh and the Cornish and the Irish are all the ancient Britons, as far back as you can say ancient with an island. But yeah, so they were colonized.
I don't hate the English. They're just wankers. We're colonized by wankers. We can't even pick a decent, vibrant, healthy culture to be colonized by. No, we're ruled by assholes. What does that make us?
Yeah, very well said.
And I can also do a really good.
For
me, it's got to be the best, or not at all.
Oh, I can't do a Scottish accent.
It's Spud.
Hey, you've got a right Scott in the chat. Got a right Scott in the chat. Yeah, exactly.
Red Bull, my real name.
I
won't disclose my real name, Red Bull, but my real name is a Scottish name.
Yes, what trickster you should be.
Whoa.
Your brother
I don't even know who this guy is. I'm sure he's famous.
What is it? 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Right. Place the clock on deck. Ready? Oh, you want to tell me when you were trickster? I do not tolerate failure.
Oh, she's boring me now. Let's get back to the crazy.
Are you prepared to answer the puzzle of the day? I can't let you in unless you solve the puzzle.
Well, I'm prepared to die.
The puzzle is in this
Did you just say that? I'm prepared to die.
As puzzles go, Wooly, this one's a real Lulu.
Oh, I like carrots.
No, boy! Keep the carrot in the glass. I can't let you in unless you solve the puzzle.
She's got a weird accent, hasn't she?
What's the puzzle then, Lulu?
Oh, I forgot to give you the card.
What is that? Is that like someone putting on an American
The
accent?
puzzle is to move the glass by rearranging two sticks
Or is it an American putting on an English
so the
accent?
carrot is outside the glass and the glass retains its shape.
I think it's a Yank putting on a British accent.
Oh no, the carrot is still inside. Oh,
I can't cope with
I
that.
hope this doesn't take too long. Oh, I'll never
I'm
get the
prepared to
grocery
die,
on time.
No, it was bound to happen.
Oh dear, I am too late. Oh, here's the whiskers. I'm late. Oh, a customer finds it that one. Oh, now look at that. If only I'd gotten there on time and have the delivery to Franco Market for Rosha Green, this carrot would have been mine, all mine. Hello, carrot.
What the hell? See, Paul Daniels came up with all of this himself. He wrote the whole thing. He wrote the theme song. It was a full Narc project, you know. He did the theme song, he did everything. And he was a magician and a stand-up comedian. He wasn't a kids entertainer. Good Lord. It's just not right, is it, for kids? This, what's so weird?
This is fucking wrong.
Like it's country music. What the hell is this? What a weird choice of song as well. Like they've made this completely random song that's got no concept in it.
Carrot, I love you.
Wake up!
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's you, Grocery Green. Oh, beg your pardon. Where am I?
You're out of this world, Willie. No, you're by the puzzle gate trying to solve the puzzle. I thought you might be here, so I brought the good to you. Right, a bag of grain. Mark, and the chicken. Yes.
Shout out to Review Tech. Shout out to Avol.
Off you go.
Yes,
Timing people out for nothing.
Grocer Green's money. But so do I know.
You what? Sorry, really, Rose. These guys.
Who's timing people out for nothing?
Oh, Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Because he can. Yeah.
If you time me out, I'm going to cut your balls off.
Tie me out, yes, baby, tie me out. Anyway, we've read enough Whizbit, guys. What do you think? Do you want to watch any more Whizbit?
No, I don't want to watch any more Whizbit. Thanks. I'm cool. I'm fine without it.
Okie dokes. What does everyone else think? Do you want to watch any more?
Nobody wants to watch any more.
Nobody wants to watch any more. No one's shouting for Whizbit. Okay, so I was thinking I might look for, as the last thing, to see what Mount Everest updates there are. Because there are people up there already. Because they started.
Is this where it's starting?
Yeah, it started. It's already been known like a week or two while I was away.
So who are the players? Do we know who the players are?
We don't. I've not looked. I've been busy.
How do we find out?
Well, we go and see the Mountain Man, don't we? You'll know.
I don't know.
You'll be on it.
I know.
I actually watched. Oh no, I'm watching.
You're the mountain lady. I'm the maritime. The maritime.
Yeah, well, his latest video was 9 days ago, and it was about David Sharp. You want it back on, Luke? You were watching it. Oh, you want to watch it? You want to watch Whizbit?
No, stop it.
You want to watch it?
happening? So long as the facts don't do attention to yourself.
Supergran, yeah, we're on Supergran on. But I'll tell you what, Supergran didn't fuck me up. But we will have the Crankies because the Crankies did. The Crankies is definitely one.
I'm trying to get these kids across the river without them eating each other.
Well, I'm sure we can help you solve your problem. Yes, indeed. But let's have that.
Oh, the acting is amazing,
What
isn't
is
it?
our name?
Oh, don't ask me. I've had enough problems already.
No problem, good friend. What is our name? We are the brothers. What?
Oh, I see. What is your name?
We just told you. Hang on. He's only joking. Don't take no notice. Now let's talk about your problem.
Oh, well, you see,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cheers, people. I know. Yes. Yes, that might help. Yeah. Cheers. I'm bad for that.
If you say no to Wismet and send me an email, I'll send you a picture of my bum.
So what do I take first? Because if I take the grain, the fox will eat the chicken. If I take the fox, the chicken will eat the grain. So I take the chicken over first. But what do I take next? Because they'll only eat each other on the other side of the river.
The propaganda.
Friendly.
Nobody wants. Nobody wants my bum now.
So good, James.
I think they might be. Red Bull, did you do a series
They
on it?
they do want to send me their emails, but they're not willing to share it.
I did not know that. Is it connected to
Oh, what's the dilemma? You'd have to share your email in this chat. What a shame.
Yeah, I am going to play. I was going to play something else, wasn't I? Another kids one. You mean Evil, or you mean going on to the? That's what I was going to say. Is it connected to Harry Potter Land? I wondered. I did think about going and getting a job there. I was like thinking I might go and do that, but I didn't in the end. Queen Sarah Miller.
You don't want a picture of your bum,
well, it depends. Do people want to watch more fuck up crazy kids stuff, or do you want to watch Mount Everest stuff?
You're missing out on my bum, but that's up to you.
Is the question. We can watch more of this, or we can watch the Crankies, which is the other fuck up one that I thought of that we could put on. Or there's Mount Everest. They're the choices. Crankies are well fucked up.
Bean wants to see the bums.
I heard that, Curia. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, because
they don't have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And it would be my OnlyFans would only consist of people that were here.
Maybe you could do one. That'd be funny.
What,
I'll tell you some. I know a few people will be straight in there. But what had happened here, as I've said to you before, Lima, this is what is guaranteed to happen. One person would buy it, and then he'll just share it to everyone. So
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem, isn't it? I'd have to make sure that everyone paid. I'll be like, I'll give you everyone a week to all pay up front before I then share.
Yeah, that would be the way to do it. That'd be the way to do it, yeah. Like, you've got a problem, you're not getting your bum this week, you have to go and see this guy about it.
Yeah, it'll be the only chat fans, really.
No, they did do a Harry Potter thing in the UK, I think. It's down in London.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still going. And I didn't know if it was connected to Universal, because I know they've done the one in the USA. So let's have the David Sharp, or I was thinking more shorts, really. I don't know if anyone really wants to watch another full-length video. His videos are only 10 minutes though, and he is good. Oh, sod it, let's have him on. I do like this guy.
Say goodbye to expensive solar panels if you own a house. The UK government has slashed VAT.
Also some information from Russell Bryce, who
I have been in contact with about that story. Near the summit of Mount Everest in the death zone on the ridge of the north
Shout out
face
to the death
is
zone!
a shallow cave known infamously as the cave where a gentleman named Sawang Paljor lay. He is known as Green Boots. In 1996, he perished there during the storm that took 8 lives on the south side and 3 others on the north side. Almost exactly 10 years later to the day, David Sharp, a young man of 34 from England, sat down in the same shallow cave, never to get back up again.
Massive scam.
Climbers passing by were shocked to see another person sitting inside.
I know someone who got scammed on that solar panel thing, and he's still paying it off. And it's been like 15 years. He's still paying it off.
Luke's awakening and didn't realise we have a celebrity here.
The cave. Reportedly, a team passed by.
She's not famous, just her
evening,
arse.
And Sharp was
It's
said
her
to
arse,
wave
yeah.
someone
I
by.
mean-
Her arse is the celebrity.
But dozens of other climbers
Yeah.
passed by on their way
My ass
to
is
or
fabulous.
returning from the summit.
We are watching a
Many
video about David Sharp, which is the guy who they all stepped over.
It's true though. It's not
This
even
is the
a
guy
lie.
who they all stepped over, and he's done a video on it recently, which will have a more up-to-date information than we had when we did our stream. But really, I came on this channel because I was wanting to see if there was any updates or anything on the season.
Like if
But
you
I'm
were
not
here
concerned.
before, we did the Mount Everest stream. Stop, delete. Yes, that's okay. We did the stream before about Mount Everest, and so if you didn't watch that, well, that's your own
Yeah,
fault.
it's all about Mount Everest.
Yeah,
All
so-
of it. Even everything's contained in it.
You
I'm
could go
comparing
back and watch it. Right? You could
And I'm
go back and
comparing-
watch it, and then
Yeah. Well, this will got some of the same info. It's just that we were talking about Green Boots, and this is more about David Sharp, who we did discuss it. We say about in the future. So
reported that they never saw him at all, and some reported that there was nothing they could do. The following morning, Jamie McGinnis, who was working as a guide on another expedition team, sat down with Dawa Sherpa. Dawa had just returned from the summit, and he stopped in the shallow cave where David Sharp was sitting, and he did everything in his power to try to get Sharp to stand up and get down the mountain. And Jamie tells me that Dawa sat there and cried, and that there was nothing that he could do, no matter how hard he tried, to save David Sharp.
and he's like the only
Today,
one who
I'm
fucking
gonna talk
tried. You know
about
what I
David
mean?
Sharp and the sad story associated.
They all
with
just
his
turned
death.
their eyes
When
off
the
it
news
because
got out,
they didn't want to.
there
They
was a
didn't want to
worldwide
cry. They didn't
furor
want to
of
have to
David
cry.
Sharp. He'd
You
been
know?
left to die, supposedly, as reported in the media, by a group of selfish climbers focused only on the summit. Even Sir
Yes,
Edmund
I would.
Hillary himself
I would
lashed
actually.
out.
I would do that Red Bull for the laugh. If those guys would do it, then I would just for the laugh, because it'd just be such a surreal experience. I would definitely do that. And I'm not one for showing my body or any of that stuff for on the old YouTube. But although I have considered doing a dancing thing, a bit like what Hammock Man did for Hammock Time. I've considered doing something a bit like that for some stuff. But I'm going to mask up. I'm going to use my Slotham mask to mask up if I do it. And I'll do it for a special occasion sometime in the future. Yeah, David Sharp. But yeah, it's absolutely shocking. That is really, that just shows how the psychopathy can just sneak in.
At the changes that had taken place in mountaineering over the years since he first had climbed.
Good idea, Evil. I'll consider that.
Were the climbers selfish, or did David Sharp get himself
Yeah.
into a place
Yeah,
that
Q,
would have been
exactly what's how it
impossible
works, innit?
to be rescued in? Today we're going to talk
Yeah.
about David Sharp, and we're going to have
You've got
some
to be-
input
you've got
from
to
Jamie
do it. You've
McGinnis,
got
who was
to.
on the mountain that day, also a friend of David Sharp's, and also some insight from Russell
looks
Bryce,
like,
known as the mayor of Everest Base Camp, had a team on the mountain that day, who also was the person who ended up calling David
Can you
Sharp's parents
remove
to
your
report he had died on the mountain.
cursor from the YouTube so that it's not bringing up the picture? Because I can't see your cursor on the screen is covering the It's covering the. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, I will. I'll leave it.
First, I'll give a brief description of the conditions on particularly during this time, which
These are good
was
points what
reported to have
Q's
been a
made
very
there. Very good
extreme
points.
period of time on the mountain. And then
Well,
I'll
we'll let
share
him do his
information
bullet
and
points and I'll
insights
go.
from an interview that I did with
Baby
Jamie
Sharp.
McInnes, who was on the mountain. He was a friend of David Sharp and was the person who spoke with several of the individuals who saw David Sharp on the night that he died, and also some information from Russell Bryce, who I have been in contact with about that story. Then I'll share some of the media attention that it was given around the world after news let out about the death of David Sharp. And lastly, I'll share my thoughts on mistakes that I think might have been made and come to a conclusion on if there's anything that might have been done differently that could have saved his life. And I'd like to hear your comments if you're familiar with the story of David Sharp.
I'll
if
give you a comment,
remember
mate.
when you first heard about the story.
You know
did
I
it
will.
create
I'm not
rage?
familiar with the
I
story
often
of Baby
say
Shark.
comment on this guy. You are?
Sorry, I can't help it. I'm not familiar with the story of Baby Shark.
Oh, Baby Shark every time they say David Sharp. It's fucking 300 people stepped over him.
I know. I
Baby
know.
Shark.
300 people stepped over Baby Shark.
Oh my god. Oh my
How
god.
can you step over Baby? I don't even like Baby Shark. I don't like Baby Shark, but you just stepped over him on a mountain.
Oh mate, it needs to be done, that song.
Like, how can you just? I don't like Baby Shark, but just stepping over him on a mountain, it's disgusting.
I love it. I love it. How could we make that
just step
way?
over Baby Shark on a
Run
mountain.
away.
Disgusting. Fucking absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, man.
Get
in your mind.
Oh, I want to go back to the army though. What you were saying, Q, about the army. Do you think? I think it'd be interesting to look back and see, you know, like cults and stuff. How many of those happened after there were loads of vets spewing in, you know, and how many people who were like ex-army guys who started these cults having learned their trade, or even just being brainwashed, so that's all they can think.
When you say Fat Mike, you mean Fat Mike from...
So even like, what's his name? L. Ron Hubbard, like, did he serve? Because when did he start his? It was in the 60s, wasn't it? Or was it a bit later? But he, you know, he might have served. There was a massive influence, wasn't there? And they could have definitely learned their trade through the army, and that's how there was a massive splurge of the 70s and the late 60s.
Or did you understand that it's very difficult to save somebody who's dying in the death zone? And before we get to the story, please take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out on Everest Mystery. And also consider becoming a member of this channel. You can support the work that I do on Everest Mystery so I can put out more videos like this. These videos I look to inspire and give you thought-provoking videos that make your life just a little bit better.
Here is the handheld tire pump, a tool that can inflate all tires. Put the nozzle on the tire and press the switch.
However, there's a short window in the month of May that makes the weather calm down and also warm up a little bit, leaving an opportunity for climbers to get to the summit and back down again without any extreme weather. Some years there are many summit days, and other years those windows are very small. If you were to be placed on the summit of Mount Everest, having come from sea level, you would lose your life in a matter of minutes. The atmospheric pressure on the summit of Mount Everest is 1/3 that as it is at sea level. And so what would happen first is you would experience extreme hypoxia, have difficulty breathing, dizziness, inability to think straight. Those hypoxia symptoms would increase until you lost consciousness some minutes later, and without immediate intervention.
For the stuff I've seen, it's really similar to concussion, like extreme concussion, because I've had that. And it's a very similar thing, I think. It's just obviously not going to get worse with concussion. It's just going to get better. Whereas it's the way around.
And somebody administering oxygen to you and helping you move your way back down the mountain, within 30 minutes at the least, you would be dead. Jamie McGinnis, who was on the mountain at the time that David Sharp lost his life, reported to me that the temperatures there, which normally are between 15 below zero Fahrenheit.
On one of the older videos I watched, it was a Nova documentary. I can't remember what it's called. It's really good. We should watch it because it's old and good at some point. And they've got like a chamber, like a portable, I forgot what they call it. It's like a something bag. And I don't know if they still use it because this was like a really old documentary, but they make the pressure a certain level and they can pressurize it up to a point, so they can spend half an hour in that and it'll bring them back down. It'll bring them round enough to get them to stand up. So like that was a really old documentary. So why didn't someone bring one of those bags up to the guy? You know, if someone radioed back there with a guy in a bad state, why didn't someone bring a bag up for him?
Yeah.
One of these pressure chamber bags. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or 26 below zero centigrade.
There's lots of things that could have been done.
It was much colder than that. He called it extremely cold. So
like,
the temperature would have been
what sort of
30 to 40
adventurer
below zero
misses
on
out
that
on the fucking
particular
adventure
night,
for the
which
plastic
makes things a
fucking
lot
photo
more
at the
difficult.
top?
I have a full interview with Jamie about his
that's
experiences
bullshit,
on the
mate.
mountain on that time that David Sharp lost his life. It's in my podcast called The Happiness Quotient, and I'll put that link in the description of this video. I'm going to use as much as I can of Jamie's input from that interview to help put this story together. David Sharp was a 34-year-old English mountaineer. He died near the summit of Mount Everest. It was on the north side, the Tibetan side of the mountain, and it was in a shallow cave on the
You wouldn't
northeast ridge at
believe the stuff that those guys were wearing to go into those conditions. The original people, you know, what the names? Forgotten what the fucking names are now. But their anniversary was like a couple of weeks ago of when they went up, and that was the guy who got found and stuff. And I think I was going to do a bit of a special on that, but I didn't for some reason. I didn't manage to do it. It was when my bloody StreamYard ran out. So I couldn't do it, but that was the anniversary of, I forgot what they were called, and they went up, and you won't believe the stuff they wore to go up in this 40 below zero weather. They were literally just wearing normal clothes, normal tweed jacket.
Altitude of about 8,500 meters. That's 27,890 feet. This is below what's known as the first step on Mount Everest. It's the same location of the body of Sawang Paljor, the Indian gentleman referred to as Green Boots. David did have experience in 8,000 meter peak climbing. In 2002, he was on Cho Oyu. Jamie McGinnis was also guiding an expedition on Cho Oyu at the same time, and he got to know David very well. And one of the things he relayed to me is that David was going on a super low budget expedition, and the company that he hired for support, he said, look, I don't want cooks, I don't want anything. Just get me the things that I need on the mountain, including food, and then we'll cook our own food. So when they got to base camp, the food was in fact there, but they learned that it was rice flour. And David and the others on the team had no clue how to cook with rice flour. So Jamie went out to another expedition and found a cook who was interested in helping them prepare their food. So he would.
So it already started badly, I don't know. That's not a good start when you're in such extreme conditions.
Base camp and cook the food over
it
there.
Makes that sound like really easy, but I bet that wasn't easy to sort out. That's like, you're fucked. Do you know what I mean? You're literally fucked. I don't know. I've been camping myself, like lone camping before, and you're just like, if you didn't have that food or you couldn't get. I went camping with a guy once and he put his back out, and I was like, well, you're fucked. And we were in like a little campsite up a hill, you know, it wasn't even that bad, but you know, if you haven't got food or you haven't got no way of cooking it, that's massive.
That started a friendship between them. And Jamie said he was a really good guy, very smart, bright, and
here is the handheld tire pump, a tool that can inflate all tires. Put the nozzle on the tire and press the
intelligent. The next year, in 2003, David was on Mount Everest, adamant that he did not want a guide to help at all. So Jamie became essentially a Sherpa on that expedition. Now we're talking about Sherpa with a lowercase s. On that particular expedition, David Sharp started to get frostbite, and so a lot of the people in that group, along with David Sharp, decided to turn around. He lost several toes due to the frostbite on that expedition. He returned in 2004, and he got to 8,500 meters, coincidentally very close to the shallow cave where Green Boots is and where David ended up in 2006.
You need a tribe around you.
Frostbite on his fingers on that expedition, and again was turned back without any summit in the bag. And so he planned to return 2 years later, but this time in 2006, his goal was to go without oxygen and without any Sherpa support. So essentially a solo expedition to Mount Everest, which is obviously considered.
He failed before, and then he upped it for the next time. That's crazy.
An extremely risky move. I reported on the 2023 disappearance of Suhaida Szilard, who was the Hungarian climber going without any oxygen and without any support. Nobody with him to help him out just in case something went down. David got a bare bones package from a company known as Asian Trekking, and it was really just no support on the mountain. They would get his equipment up there or any that he needed, and then that was
pretty much on the top of the mountain.
And
so all the way up. So the photo is of this guy, and he's literally by another guy who was with a team. He just took a photo of him. He just sat down. But that was the last photo anyone took of him because he just pounced out after that. And he sat looking at a load of oxygen bottles on that photo, and it's just bad because of where he is, the position that he's in when that photo's being taken. You're just like, man, if you sat down and you've kind of lost your will, or you've started with hypoxia or whatever, and no one's helping you, like, you fucked, mate. He was dead. He was just a dead man, even though he was just still alive.
Asked David to meet him in Kathmandu before the expedition, and over a beer at a bar called Sam's, he said, look, I know what you paid Asian Trekking. Why don't you come onto our expedition? I will charge you almost nothing more than what they're charging you. Come with us. It will be safer. However, as Jamie said, it was under the condition, as Jamie said, there would be a constraint that when we go for the summit, everything would have to be in place, meaning the team would be ready to go, that Jamie would call the shots. And also part of those constraints is that there were going to be climbing Sherpas with that team. And so what David said is like, wow, that is an amazing offer, but I won't do it because I'm unwilling to go with those constraints. I don't want any Sherpa support. I want to be on my own and do it the way I want to do it. Thank you, but no thanks. On May 14th, David Sharp went to the summit. Jamie was well down the mountain at Advanced Base Camp. Now, it's not known whether David Sharp made it to the summit or not. Many people surmise that he didn't, but Jamie believes that he did and thinks that he probably made the summit, if he did, at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Many people know about that 2 o'clock turnaround time, but if it was 4 o'clock without oxygen, it might as well be the middle of the night.
It's just like, you know what you're doing, you know that you're getting yourself into that shit. There's a clear time for a reason.
That is a word that you don't want used for the conditions when you go to the summit of Mount Everest. Given that it was so late in the
apparently
afternoon,
that night, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same one. I got this from the Dying from Everest documentary. But that night, I don't know if it's temperature inversion or something like that, but obviously temperature inversions happening up there or something else. And so I think the guy actually said that space came down and met them that night because of the way that the atmosphere was. And that's why the weather was so unbelievably cold, because they were actually touching space. The atmosphere had actually dropped that far down.
On his way back down, Jamie surmises that he got to the cave where Green Boots was, and he sat down to take a rest.
Yeah.
There is a recreation of the scene from a movie that they did about David Sharp, and I'll credit it here, and I'll show just a very brief clip of it just so you can kind of get the setting of the time. This is not real. This is a recreation. This is not really David Sharp. And as Jamie says, when the temperatures are so cold, like 30 or 40 below zero, it doesn't even matter if it's Fahrenheit or Celsius at that point, it just cuts through everything and really beats you down. And oxygen is one of the vital elements to help you stay warm in conditions like that. And of course, David had none, not even a backup oxygen tank and regulator just in case of emergencies. So David is sitting there essentially hunched over with his arms up on his knees, motionless, and a number of teams were going up toward the summit, passing him. Some looked in and saw him. Apparently, he waved them on one of the first groups that went past. And then a very well-known team of Russell Bryce's was with a climber named Mark Inglis, who became the first double amputee to summit Mount Everest. Now, Russell Bryce was down in base camp and in communication with his team. And when they went by, they were filming the TV show Beyond the Limit. And apparently there is footage on some of the Sherpas' head cameras. They had GoPros on their head, and a guy named Mark Fetu also filmed up there. But apparently that footage has never been released. The parents have seen it, and then it was never to be released to the public. And Jamie said that another team that went by was a Turkish team. It was a large group of climbers. He's not sure if that was the first Turks to summit Mount Everest or not, but he talked
the mountain man, gets the chopper.
After this thing took place, and he said that they walked past and they just said to him, don't sit down for too long. You better keep moving, keep going. And they thought he was on his way up the mountain.
No, that is different. I forgot that I was on microphone and not just in the chat.
Oh yeah, that happens to me sometimes. But yeah, curiosity. I'm going to do that. That's going to be on the memorial, the Buttocks Memorial Ghost stream. Is going to have Bigfoot, and Bigfoot does save people's lives. Apparently, I know some stories. I've heard some tales, which I'll see if I can fish out. The robot grandma. Has anyone heard about the robot grandma story? That's bang. That's a banger. That fucking banger. Yeah, like some kid got abducted. You know how kids go missing? There's loads of these ones where kids go missing miles and miles and miles away, and it's all bullshit. It's all that like David Paulides stuff, and it's just no way that kid could have got there. And one of the kids that they found, he'd been away. I don't know the exact details, obviously, but he'd been out for a bit, and his clothes were all fine. He wasn't wet or anything. And when they found him, and he had this story to tell about this woman, about his grandma came and got him and took him to a cave, and then while he was there, the grandma started short-circuiting and all sparks started coming out of her, and he realized that she was a robot. Just absolute crazy stuff. And then finally got replaced, got put back where he was, and he got found. And the kid now, he doesn't remember any of it. But yeah, we'll do loads of stuff like that on the Memorial Ghost stream.
And that.
Sorry, Lima.
No,
really had no idea just how severe the situation was. Mark Inglis, who was ultimately called out by Sir Edmund Hillary, of all people, reported first off that they made radio communications down to Russell
as well while watching a triggered queefy stream.
They had seen
Power Wash Simulator.
Russell Bryce immediately said,
"Can you mod that thing? Can you mod the Power Wash Simulator? Because we could do some fucking amusing ones."
Oh, let's see Power Wash Simulator.
See if you can mod it, because we could.
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Not true that there was no report of them having seen anybody up the mountain. As Mark Inglis said sometime later, said sometimes your memory fails you. I guess I thought we called down on the radio, but we didn't. And so back to that story, as Jamie is coming up from the North Col toward Camp 2, he sees his friend Dawa Sherpa, who had been with David Sharp for about a half an hour with one of the Sherpa from Russell Bryce's team, doing everything in their power to try to save David, to try to get David to stand up and get down the mountain. And when he sat there with Jamie, he cried and cried. said he was trying to help him stand up. He was slurring. He couldn't speak. And he knew it was frostbite that he had seen.
By the time that guy got to him,
showing.
loads of people had already walked past him. So if there had already been a team of people,
God,
helping him, then that guy would have helped as well, and everyone would have helped get him down the mountain. There was absolutely no.
The fucking first aid training. There's no way I'm leaving that guy behind.
No, it was extreme conditions, but really, there's no argument. They carried on walking up the mountain, which is obviously a harder path. That's a harder path.
My first aid training would kick in, and I'm like, I'm not. My first aid training would just automatically kick in, and I'm like, what, right, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. And like, no, I can't just walk on. There's no way I can walk on. Not in a million years.
It's just being a fucking human being.
I can't.
That's what I mean. Like, people did though, and they weren't bad people. You know, they can't
die with them. No, fuck that.
Moderns, but it's that psychopathy coming in from space. I'm telling you.
Up beyond his wrists into his forearm, and he couldn't move his legs or stand up or straighten them out. And so Dawa was in tears as he relayed this to Jamie, because he knew when he got up to leave, he was leaving David Sharp to die. So the real controversy began shortly after.
Here is the handheld tire pump, a tool that can inflate all tires. Put the nozzle
in the tire I did that song,
It will be fully inflated.
When news of David Sharp's death reached the media, and people found out that there were other people passing him on their way to and from the summit, it created an international furor over the situation, that climbers were selfish and only thinking.
If they were walking down, then fair enough. If they
I'm not walking past anybody.
Yeah, but even if you but in them situations, you could die. You could die. No, but the thing is, you could die.
I don't care.
Well, I do, and I think that taking that into account. But if you were walking up it, this is where it all falls down.
Okay, walking down, at least you can then call for help when you get down, right?
Yeah, at least there's that. And there's also like you're only going to have reduced amounts of everything. You can't, you've already used all your oxygen and everything like that. You're on a ticking time bomb.
But walking up and you just carry on and stepping over.
You've got all the time in the fucking world in some ways, and it's absolutely It's absolute bullshit, mate. The double amputee guy.
I'm a fucking busybody. Like, if someone's in trouble, I can't help myself.
I know, but like the double, there are some people, like he was doing something like a special thing. He needed to have extra help and stuff, to get up the mountain. They all, because he's famous, they all like blamed him. But really, I mean, the man didn't have any fucking legs. What about the rest of them? What about the 299 other fuckers who have got legs?
Like themselves. And even Sir Edmund Hillary weighed in.
At that point, I don't want to go up any further. You know what I mean?
Mountaineering was
he's right. Hillary was right on that, man.
Which is
I wouldn't want to go up any further if someone's dying there. You know what I mean? I'm not going up further.
Many surmise, no matter what, that it would have been almost impossible to save.
Of course, I wouldn't be there in the first place because I'm not a cunt.
Or 15, even 20 different people
but there were 300 of them
unison.
Well, I'm not going to be one of the 300. I'm not.
And what about
getting a person either in a stretcher or to be dragged down the mountain to share oxygen with that person? So
I'm going to have to go soon.
Okay, and the thing is as well, right? That they could have mic'd down, couldn't they, for the ones that were behind them to bring more oxygen up for this guy. They could have done that. So you're going to have to go with it. All right. Well, I'm going to watch the end of this, and then that'll probably be it.
And to just start moving the body, and even then, there's no telling.
Yeah, like vultures, exactly.
It doesn't matter if he would have survived. We're going to try.
Showing of human.
No, mate. I don't think you do have to be Superman. I think you just need a few people. Some of the technical stuff that they've all got down there, they just needed to radio down.
You don't have to be fucking Superman to help someone on a fucking mountain.
He could have died on it, and he did go up there knowing he was probably going to die. But the thing is.
Don't step over him.
Yeah, how can you step over another human being who's dying to go to the top of the mountain and touch the plastic top?
At that point, I'm going back down. I'm just going back down.
At that point, you're just like, this is the adventure. We're going to get this guy down the mountain. That's the adventure. It just seems like the human response. Like, Yeah. I mean, you
And
can
also,
die.
if you're laying dead anywhere, and I'm the only person around, or there's only a few people around, I'm gonna stay with you.
Yeah. Well, you can't have done that. If you would have done that, you would have died. If you'd have just sat with
Fucking
him.
I'll die then, whatever. But I'm
Well,
not.
then that's no good, is it? That's no good for evolution, is it?
I know, but like you figure something out with a bunch of other people. There's
Exactly,
300
that's
people
what
up
I'm
there.
talking about. He's like, I know it would take 20 to 30 people, but you're like, there were fucking 300 people walked past
300 people up there.
I don't think they're taking into account the time scale, because it's like if the first people gave a shit, then even if they hadn't have done it, they could have still sent word back. And that queue is so fucking long. We've seen that queue goes all the way back down to the fucking tens. So they could have passed that shit up by hand. Although I don't think the queues were quite as bad in those days. This is in the 90s, so.
Oh, this is in the 90s, so it actually was possible to get him back down.
No, I think there was still quite a lot of people, but it was possible. I would say, I mean, I've never been on Mount Everest, what can I fucking say? But from my perspective, you'd fucking give it a try. And my point is, it's even if it wasn't
possible for you to go up and down, it's possible for you to go up and down and help someone else get back fucking down.
You're going to give people a minute's silence for dying at football matches. You can at least give them a fucking chance and try and save them.
Yeah, there has to be. There's always a way. You
and
just have to
pass the message down for the next people to bring.
go back. You go back down, and then you get help.
Send the bag up. That's what you needed to say. Send the fucking bag up, guys.
Like they must have communication with someone.
Dignity. It's just
And if not,
just
don't do it in the first place.
And the climbers, many of the
Well, there's that as well. I mean, that's what a lot of people said. They were like, "Oh, well, he went up there. It's the risk that you take."
No, I know that, but the people that went as well.
I don't agree with it, because it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter how you get into that position. It could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. There's a guy dying.
If you made a death mistake, it doesn't mean that you should be punished for it.
No, you're walking past him to go up the mountain for your own glory, and that it doesn't matter where you are. Or what, or how that person got there.
Mountain wankers,
wankers, mate.
Mountain wankers.
To summit.
I am frozen. I'm sat next to a fucking radiator and I'm frozen.
Selfish behavior.
With my coat on.
His aim is to get to the summit without concern for the welfare of anybody along the way. And
I've got to go in a minute.
All right, well, thank you for coming.
He said as a kid
thank you for
growing
the.
up, Now, why was Inglis looking at Ed Hillary like a hero? Because he also.
How do you think he lost his legs, Red Bull? I think it was on Everest, or it was on somewhere else like K2 or something.
It was from New Zealand. So this is probably one of the most emotional high points and low points in Inglis's life. I can't put blame on anybody who was up there for not having saved.
At least he's not going to lose his toes.
He was too far gone. And when you're up there, as Jamie McGinnis says, in savage
I'll listen to that Jamie McGinnis bit.
While you might be a guide and exceptionally stronger and more able than your clients, you have the immediate charge of your client.
My point about having a minute's silence on the football match is because, if you could shut down things for the memory of someone dying, then you go, "Hey, up, there's someone dying here." Even if you can't get him down the mountain, you just be like, "Sorry, guys, game over. Head back down. You know the weather's too bad. There's a guy who's already dying. You're idiots if you carry on going. So I'm going to call it now, and you've all got to fucking turn around and go back down. There's a dead man. Do you know what I mean? Not." Oh, let's just carry on going. He's dead anyways. And he was there for fucking, how long was he there? He was there for ages. He was there for fucking ages, mate. Suffering.
To worry about. And so to put any focus on guides or clients in that situation, I think is rather unfair. And so in terms of the overall wrap up and observations of what took place, we know that David Sharp had gone low budget, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just roll him down. Put him in a sleeping bag and roll him down.
Exactly.
That is putting yourself out at the end of a limb. And
no, you can't. You can't just roll him down.
On Everest, he very well knew what it was like.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
On the mountain there.
I can agree with
so
that.
Also another thing to add into that, He refused the
But
opportunity
if
to
I'm
take
paying hundreds of
another
thousands of pounds
oxygen
for
bottle with
fucking
a
mountains,
mask
you
that
want
weighed
helicopters waiting.
kilos or
You can
10
see
or
they've already
12
got a little bit of
pounds
blue in their face,
weight,
even when they're at
and
base
he
camp.
also did not
Yeah,
wear
He's a
the
bird because
radio.
yeah.
Those are two things that very well might have
Oh,
saved his
this
life.
person.
Granted,
I
it
don't
would have
know about that.
been
I
weight
need
in
to.
the
I don't know
backpack,
anything about that.
but if it comes down to life or death, that would have been weight that
I only know a little bit about
I
like
think
you,
you'd
yeah.
say would be worth the effort. And now, in terms of that overall observation, it is very easy to judge somebody from sea level and say, this is what should have taken place on the mountain.
Oh, I bet
The
there is.
conditions in the death zone are so vastly different that you can't even explain it in words.
Give
You
me
have
in the
to
balls,
just
bro.
imagine the absolute most sick you've ever felt in your entire life, the worst flu, with the inability to even roll over in
Oh,
bed and
why
your whole body
do
aches.
it?
That's a good day up there.
Yeah, this guy had a
While I'm not
really bad
judging
time up
David
the mountain
Sharp,
one
I
time.
think a lot
So
of his
he,
faith.
when he was younger, he went up. I think it might have been his first one as a cameraman or something, and he did the cooking for him. He was doing the cook's role, and he had all of the stoves in his tent cooking. As we all know, like, you don't do that, but obviously he didn't know that when he was younger and stuff. And all those gases and everything like fucked him up massively before he even made the summit push. So he said when he came back down, he like proper risked his life. He could have easily just died up there so quickly. And you can see from the video he's fucked, absolutely fucked. So he managed to survive because he had a tribe around him.
Was really in his own hands. And while many of the mountaineers who went by him that day were judged very harshly, I think that that's an unfair deduction to make. Even David Sharp's mother, Linda, said that it was the right thing to do, that those climbers
Well, yes,
needed to take
if
care
they
of
needed to get themselves down the mountain, to get themselves out of danger, yes, I would agree. But no, they can. The right thing to do, to carry on walking, to carry on with your day trip, to go with your day out. What the fuck? No, it's not. It's not.
themselves first and foremost.
Then you take
and that
yourself down
David
the
knew
fucking
what he was
mountain.
doing. Now, David
Oh.
Sharp, again, was on
Complete
a low-budget
omission of,
expedition, and it was Asian Trekking, notoriously expedition company that has not just David Sharp among their ranks of clients who have died on the mountain. This is not unusual for low-budget expedition operators to essentially set their clients free on their own up on the mountain. Now, David Sharp did carry a brunt of the responsibility. He knew what he was doing, supposedly. It was his third time on the mountain. He had frostbitten toes on one, frostbitten fingers on the other, and knew that he was up against a gargantuan task, going without oxygen or any support. And like I did in my video about Szilard Suhaida, the Hungarian climber, when you go out with not even a person, a friend, or some Sherpa support or support essentially nearby to notify you that you're losing your mind and can't make the right decisions, then you stepped into the realm of the unknown. And any death that takes place has to be put squarely on the shoulders of the person who made those decisions at sea level. So in the short and long of it, there's a lot of different stories that come out of the David Sharp story. Apparently, Russell Bryce's Sherpas went there to move the body out of sight at the bequest of the parents. So that's it for my take on the David Sharp story. Very, very sad story. A bright young man with a pretty cool future ahead of him.
Nice one, Evil. Yeah, it is. It's fucking mental, this stuff.
Consumed by his desire, his absolute obsession, his passion to get to the summit of Mount Everest. And even with that, we still don't know if he even made it or not on the day that he died. There's always so many interesting comments and a discussion that takes place with stories like
It
this.
is horrible, but still, I'm taking that.
So in the meantime,
the thing
if you
is,
haven't
well,
already,
he's
hit
right.
that
Go
subscribe
up with no
button.
oxygen,
Thanks for
and I
taking the
mean,
time.
I think people do manage it, but fucking hell, like.
Make sure everyone has a different colour sleeping bag so we can take bets when we push them down.
Jesus Christ.
Too soon? Too soon.
It's fucking mental, mate. It is, man. Oh. You reckon he made it? Maybe. I don't think he did. Oh, and then there's a rest on the way. I don't think so because he was at the head of a big queue of people. But this is a question, right? If he made the summit at 4 p.m, there would have been the next lot of climbers in the night who walked up. So if he'd already been up there a while by the time the first set of climbers walked past him then. Because if it was 4 p.m, there wouldn't have been many people coming down after him. Very unlikely. So it would have been
I mean, at least have a chat with him and go, do you mind if I step over you and leave you here? Or do you want help?
Like 10. They start about 10 or 11 at night. The next wave of people would have come up at a few hours after that. So he would have been out there for a good 10 hours before.
I mean, at some point he was able to speak. I mean, I'm gonna go, dude, do you want me to get help?
He might not have been at that point. He might not have been able to speak at that point.
I mean, was he alone the whole time? Did he go up there alone?
He was already losing his mind, and that's why he sat down and just started chilling, basically.
Yeah, so in that case, he's not well, and you can't.
Yeah, they did say he waved him on, but it don't matter though under those circumstances. Q, does it? Like,
no.
You're not gonna go. Oh, will he wave me? Nah, it's not happening. Like friends don't let friends drive and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's nah, it's bullshit. And the fact that
I'm not listening. No, you. No, I've been rushed into hospital with hypothermia before, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't do anything when you're in that state. Yeah.
No,
you just
I had hypothermia at a fucking concert in the UK.
You just want to lie down, and that's it.
I just went to sleep. I got taken away in a vintage ambulance.
There's no rules. There's no rules with Red Bull. There's literally no rules up there. It's just psychopaths. It really is. I mean, if you're struggling, you're going to put people at risk by trying to save someone, but no, not at all. The people who've died because it's just fucked up because of money. Like the guy was saying in that video, like you've got to focus on your clients. Now that just shows how money fucks it up. It goes back down to you fucking e-begging and shit like that. When you focus on the clients rather than the content, then you're fucked, aren't you? As we all are, because we all have to live in this fucking.
I mean, can we all stop just going up Mount Everest now, please? Everyone need to stop going up Mount Everest. Unless you're an experienced climber that can manage on your own, and you've got a lot of equipment, and you've maybe got a helicopter on call. But if you're just doing it as a tourist, maybe just don't.
Well, basically, they haven't got a say in it because the Nepalese government want to make money. So,
well, I'm going to set up another business. I'm going to send up some drones and we'll take pot shots at the wankers going up there, and we'll take bets on which bodies land at the bottom first.
Well, that's it. I need to
take good care of yourself.
Trying to find some Everest shorts if there's any from.
I don't have a drone yet, but I'm going to fund it with my bum pictures.
I do want to go and do a bit of Himalayan trekking, I think, but I'm never going to go up Mount Everest. But I'll definitely have a look at some of the smaller mountains, I think. Why not?
Just go and hang out with the locals and learn about culture and not I don't need to go up a mountain.
Go to the tea houses and stuff like that.
Right, I'm going to go now. So it was nice. Thanks everyone for coming and hanging out. I'm going to go. I think you might be staying a bit longer.
I'm just going to put a couple of shorts on and I'm going to say my goodbyes.
Yeah, I've got to go because I've got some shiz to do. So thanks for coming, everyone. And thanks for putting up with my bullshit. I've been talking a lot of bullshit today because I'm tired, but I don't really want to race bodies down mountains. It was just an amusing idea.
There's none from recently. There's none yet from recently.
But I mean, if anyone wants to fund it, I might be up for it. Right, I'm off. Catch you later, Bill.
All right, good. Thank you for everything. Thank you for Titan. He was the
Take care.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. So we've got a few shorts, but there's no modern ones. Which is the one that you saw, Evil, where they're chucking the bodies down the mountain? That'd be interesting to see. Unseen footage. Oh, Mallory and Irving. That was their names. Unseen footage of the historic discovery of George Mallory. Let's have that on. Oh, it's Everest Mystery again.
The mountaineering world was turned on its head on May 1st.
I need to share it, don't I? There we are.
1999, on the day that George Mallory was discovered in the vast north face of Mount Everest. Conrad Anker moved outside of a search area which had been carefully drawn up in an 8-page
Who else does he send them to? That's the question, isn't it? Get to the chopper. Who else is he sending them to? Because you know it's not isolated.
Conrad discovered the remains of none other than George Lee Mallory.
But let's talk about this for a second, because it's already been proven that he was sending it all to the. He was doing all that shit with the waitresses and all that shit. So I bet he's got a fucking pool of people. I bet he's still doing it, and I bet he ramped up it as soon as this Candice shit came out. I bet he ramped it up. So I bet there's loads of other people.
The mountaineering world was turned on its head.
Yeah, I don't know about the dead bodies one. This is what they're doing to us. This is what's happening in the world.
The mountaineering world was turned on its head.
That's what it is. Yeah, the D-pics are legit, mate, in my opinion. Yeah, of course they are. You just have to see them. They're not so photoshoppy. But I think it might be fun to do a photoshoppy dick pic stream. I haven't got Photoshop, I've got GIMP, so we could do it on GIMP and make our own. Maybe. Oh, okay. Play that one. Okay. There you are. Oh, how do I link? How do I click on that? I can't sit. I can't do it. It won't let me. Let me click on it. Hang on. I can play it on my phone. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, Evil. This is a new level of it that I don't understand. How you can't highlight it to copy it, and you can't click on it. So how do you do it? Yeah, and if anyone can't, I can't. Oh, see you later, Lemur. Thank you for everything. I would not join since we've already seen the goods for free, haven't we? So there we are. So anyway, it's Wednesday, so I am up for doing a stream later if anyone wants to do one. If Ron's up for it, we could do the ghost stream, or we could do karaoke, but I know people were thinking about doing karaoke at the weekend, so they could have a drink. So what are people thinking? If not, I might do some more Fresco Wizard. So you have to wait till next time, Bean. You never know. Next week, you might get a bum if you're lucky. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Well, maybe that's what we could do on the GIMP, is we could reverse engineer what it looks like. So yeah. That was about it, really, guys. I think I thought there might be a few more up-to-date things for next week. What I will do is I will have a look on a few websites and things and get a bit of information on what's going on up there. The Bum Song. I don't know the Bum Song. I don't know. I never saw the Dean stream because I'm not watching that shit. So, yeah, thanks, Evil. Yeah, I might be back soon because I still haven't done my Fresco Wizard and Fiber Twig, and I've actually made a thumbnail for that. So I kind of want to do that. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for coming, everybody. And it was in the middle of the day, so it was cool to see you all. And probably quite early in the morning for you guys. So good morning. Hope you have a nice day. And I might be back with some Fresco Wizard and Fiber Twig later, and some booze, I think. All right. Thank you very much. And have a lovely day.